Okay, let me set up a few things here. Why does my screen look so dark? I have no clue. No clue. Oh, welcome in, everyone. We are getting started. Let me make sure I have notes in the shop, which I may or may not. I do have them. They're there. Yay, I did something right. Okay, we're going to pin this. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. Let me get situated. I've put my chair in a new spot and there's not much room for me. So I'm kind of squeezing myself in here. um, all right, let's go ahead and run this real quick just so we can get that out of the way. Everybody tell me about your shows. This is the beginning, middle, and end. I like to ask you guys, do I have any vintage baseballs or baseball stuff? No, I don't. I don't think I do. But you never know, RC. I find stuff all the time. I'm constantly sourcing stuff, so always check back. RC. Weren't you the one in that show that had the signed baseball? I gave you the contact info. Did you ever reach out to that person? Did you get the baseball of your dreams? I hope so. But no, I don't often find signed baseballs. That was a random estate sale. But thank you for coming back and checking in. Good morning, my mother. My mom's in the show, so you guys have to be super nice. Yarn and Coffee says I'm almost to the 1,000 sales or 1,000 followers. But yeah, share your shows down below. Tell us what you're selling. Oh, 1,000 sales. Congratulations, Yarn and Coffee. I feel like I'm too close now. Hold on. I got to find the happy medium between reading the chat and relaxing. There's just not enough room here. There's not enough room. Okay, we're going to have to raise this up a little bit. Okay. Keep sharing your shows while I say, welcome to the Janky Basement. We're not looking as janky these days because I have a new setup. We might have time to do a little field trip and I can show you guys what I have set up for the day. This is my drink of choice today. I might be drinking it a lot because I actually exercised this morning. So I'm going to crack that open right now. And let's go ahead and jump in because I have a tight schedule this week. Mom, you'd be so proud of me. I did another schedule reset, and health is one of my top concerns this week. So I have to get off. Let me see. At 12:30, I have to be done and gone. So our goal is to be done with the chatting at 11:30 so that I can sell soap for the last half hour. Or sorry, at 12. So I can sell soap for the last half hour. No more ice cream memes. No, I'll still send you memes, Mom. That's in my heart. I still have to send you my inner food struggles forever and always. Market has a show on Friday. Rusty Krusty. We love Rusty Krusty. It's so fun. Okay, here we go. Oh, do we have a new, oh, it's pink crowns. I thought it was pink birds. I was like, oh, that would be cool. I would like pink birds. We're going to talk about Whatnot's new point stuff later. Let's do our shout outs. We've got a lot of shout outs, but we've got a lot of things to talk about. So we're going to try to go through them possibly as quickly as we can. If anybody feels like tagging Shop Happy 2019. If you're new here, this is a chat show. We talk about Whatnot. I like to call out sellers who showed me something interesting or is something that you guys can learn from or something fun that I saw. Good, because you don't understand the points. You don't have to understand the points. All you have to understand is whether you like them for your business or not. I personally am yes and no, but we'll talk about it when we get to. Okay, Shop Happy 2019. If anybody wants to tag Shop Happy, all one word, no underscores, Shop Happy, but there it is, Julie B. Julie B tagged Shop Happy. Oh, except it's happy with an I. Shop Happy with an I 2019. So Shop Happy with an I 2019 is doing a challenge. So if you guys look in my if you look in my profile, if you click on my profile and look at my future shows, thank you. Julie B got Shop Happy right there. That's the right one. Follow Shop Happy. Shop Happy does a lot of chat shows. She does a lot of selling. She's a fabulous woman. You'll never miss her. She's always dressed to the T for everything. But Shop Happy does these challenges, and they are really, really good for new sellers. I've been on Whatnot for 4 years, and I find value in her challenges. So I am taking her challenge this week, which is the Clock It challenge. Clock it. So we're doing like it started on Sunday, but you guys know I don't sell on Sunday, so I didn't do the Sunday one. But at Good Morning, I Love Discounts on Monday, today, we're doing 2 at 2. So at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., you have to go live and sell 2 things via auction. Tomorrow, it's going to be Clock It 3 at 3. So 3 a.m. or 3 p.m., I have to go live and sell by auction 3 things. Now, can I sell a number of things by auction? Yes, I can. Do I need this challenge to teach me how to run my auctions and teach me how to have endurance? No. Been there, done that, gonna do it again. So why am I participating in the Shop Happy Challenge? For exposure, for community, for trying something new and getting out of my comfort zone. And that's what I really like about Shop Happy's challenges. They get you out of your comfort zone. And also, like I Love Discount says, Shop Happy is amazing. Why would you not want to have your name attached to hers? So I am participating in the Shop Happy Challenge. I hope you guys bookmark those and check them out. I just threw them up this morning, so they still need to be fine-tuned. You're in her challenge too, Tiny Roots? Love it. If you're in the Shop Happy challenge, what's Shop Happy's emoji? The calendar and then the heart smiley face. If you're in the Shop Happy challenge, put some emojis in the chat so people know to follow your shows too. Bastajoka Wild. Confident Beauty says, "Oh my goodness, I just got here and you're talking in tiny talking to Tiny Roots. She is everywhere." I know, right? So what was I going to say? Oh, Tober 2 and I have a joke because we follow each other around into different shows. So she says I have to wear a bell now. So every time I go into a show and I see Tober, I have to put a bell emoji. Good morning, Master Joko Wild. It's nice to see you still around here. Okay, so I encourage you guys, go follow Shop Happy 2019. Participate in her challenges if you're a new seller. Participate in her challenges if you're an old fogey like me. There's nothing that you can't gain from these challenges. Yes, there's nothing that you can't gain from these challenges. There's always something to learn, always something to grow from in her challenges. I like this one because I think it teaches endurance, especially if you're a new seller. If you're a new seller and you're like struggling making sales, this is a good way because you have to stay live until you sell that day's number of items. So you could sell one item, easy peasy, you're done with your day, you did it. But this is going to teach endurance and consistency and being able to go live every single day. And oftentimes when you do a Shop Happy challenge, you prove to yourself that, oh my goodness, I can do it. A lot of times we prevent ourselves from doing things because we just assume we're not going to be able to do that, right? And what happens when you assume? We all know. So these challenges get you out of that mindset and out of that comfort zone, and they prove to yourself, I can do quite a bit actually. So love Shop Happy for that. Okay, these are 2 new people, categories that I do not watch or follow. I happened upon it just scrolling through my For You page. So if someone wants to tag these people, J Taylor 6, J the letter, Taylor, Taylor, and then the number 6, no underscores, and Bein Bougie, Beein Bougie, the way bougie is spelt. So J Taylor 6, thank you. There's J Taylor 6 right there. And if anyone wants to tag Bein Bougie. Now, thank you. There they all are right there. We're tagging them so that if you reselling everything, we like to tag people who showed us something interesting or something we can learn from. So I'm having you guys go check them out because I happened upon a roast raid train. J Taylor 6 was roasting Bein Bougie. It was so funny. So, what did I learn from this and why would you go to follow them? I learned that J Taylor 6 is super, super funny, super, super loving, and very tied into her community in the clothing category. And Being Bougie is in the clothing and storage unit category. And from that roast, I learned that Being Bougie trash talks, will yell at you, but that she's got a heart of gold. And I just thought it was so interesting to see that in action. So roasts where they're making fun of the person and then you follow it up with what you love about the person. Such a good way to get to know people. I loved it. And I've seen it done in vintage decor. I've seen it done in other categories too. But I just wanted to point that out that they did a roast raid train for Being Bougie. J. Taylor Six did a hilarious job, did a very, very good job at getting me to know her and the person she was roasting at the same time. That's a skill, people. That's a very good skill. Everybody's treasures. Can someone tag everybody's treasures? If you're in here, just say hi. Sometimes they're in here. Tober, where's your bell? Where's your bell, honey? I was just telling everyone I have to wear a bell for you now. There we go. Oh, I have a drinking problem. Too much fizz this early in the morning. All right. Thank you. The Vintage Brie just tagged everybody's treasures. I want to shout out everybody's treasures. I met everybody's treasures because she was a buyer in my shows. So I got to know her from her purchasing. I don't know that I've ever caught a show of hers, maybe once or twice, but she invited me to a raid train. Loved this raid train. And I have some things I want to talk about on this. So, did anybody catch my spooky stories raid train where we talked about Hazel? Hazel, the soon to be witch who turned everybody into a tchotchke. We had so much fun on that raid train. Okay. She did a spooky story raid train. Now, I wanted to talk about, I'm actually going to talk about me. But I wanted to tag everybody's treasures because it was through her raid train that I was able to show this technique. So if you guys I got invited to a raid train where we were supposed to bring scary items. We were supposed to bring Halloween stuff, right? I don't have this area. I'm in the Bible Belt. It is so very hard to find Halloween stuff. Thank you, everybody's treasures. There's everybody's treasures right there if you guys want to follow her. I did not have spooky stuff, but I did have spooky stories. So what I did was I stayed on theme. I made sure you want to respect a raid train. If you get invited to a raid train, everybody, please read all the rules and then read the vibe. If there's a vibe in a raid train, you really want to try to match that. You want to do honor to the host and the theme and make it fun. It's always the innocent items that are possessed, so you definitely nailed it, right? I mean, I did make sure to have a few Halloween items, so I did bring some spooky stuff as required. I met the requirement, and then I met the vibe. The vibe was to make it spooky and tell stories. So I just took regular items and made the story make them spooky. So if you're in a raid train and you don't necessarily have the kind of stuff that that raid train wants, ask if you can make it what they want, right? Through your setup, through the way you describe the items, through your titles. Everybody's treasures, probably not. The next one I think is on a Sunday, so definitely not because I don't do Sunday shows. And then October is always really, really busy for me. So I might last minute jump on the October one if there's a spot, but probably not. But this is another thing that I love about raid trains. Raid trains can teach you new techniques for selling. And I really enjoyed the storytelling. And my moderator messaged me. I think it was Lala Girl or Sabaloo. I don't remember right now because my brain doesn't remember things. I'll make a spot for you if you want. Everybody's treasures, message me in October. I'll see if I can fit it in. But through that opportunity given by everybody's treasures, I was like, oh, that's actually Zoe's Treasures. We just got rated by the amazing Zoe's Treasures. Welcome in, ducks. Thank you so, so much for joining our chat show. I was just watching Tracy's chat show. And Tracy, you're in my notes today. So welcome, welcome in. Everybody say hello to Zoe while I let you know that our lovely Tracy from Zoe's Treasures, Tracy and Noelle, Tracy's doing a show later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's doing a seller support show where she teaches you how to set up your reselling business. And then tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Zoe's Treasures is doing an I Spy vintage decor and glass. So definitely give Zoe's Treasures a follow if that sounds interesting to you. Thank you so much for the raid. So what were we talking about? Oh, raid trains. So what I enjoyed through that raid train was learning a new technique of selling. Now I've heard that Daisy Lane does a lot of storytelling in her selling. Um, I really enjoyed that technique. So everybody's treasures, shout out to you for teaching me a new technique to selling. The continual story through the whole show was very fun. And I think it did help me sell items that would not have sold without the story. So I really, really appreciated that. And like I said, ooh, pardon me. Like I said, I'm squished in here. I'm getting used to this new setup. Like I said, if you're in a raid train, thank you so much. I love discounts. That means a lot. If you're in a raid train, do try to match the requirements and then match the vibe and really look at it as a learning opportunity. Thank you, Ra, for purchasing notes so you can rewatch the show and you'll get a copy of my notes. Daisy Lane, it was my first time trying a continual story through the whole show made up. It was very fun. We're going to try it again, but on my own, like not with a raid train, just on my own and see if I can make it work. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I can do it. Okay, the other person we want to call out is Zoe's Treasures. Zoe's Treasures, if you're here, say hello in the chat. Tag yourself. So Zoe's Treasures, there they are. You guys follow Zoe's Treasures. If you're not, you should be, especially if you're a new seller. Great information. Everybody's Treasures. No, I'm not. Send me the information. Okay, so Zoe's Treasures in her chat show last week, but also I noticed this subject coming up again this morning, talking about the experience of selling. We just got done talking about storytelling. That created an experience for selling. Oftentimes, the conversation we're having in a live show creates the experience. Thank you, everybody's treasures. I'll look for it. Creates the experience in buying. Now, let's talk about experiences in buying. Let's talk about brick and mortar first. When you go into a store, they often have created an experience for you in background music, in lighting, in the way that the employees are dressed, in the way that the items are displayed, in the way that they set the layout of the room where they want. Like, who here has gone to an IKEA? Is that a very specific shopping experience? Who here has shopped at like Hollister, or Hot Topic? What kind of experience do you have when you go into those stores? When you go into Bath and Body Works, right? The way that people greet you. Who here goes to Chick-fil-A? Even if you disagree with certain things, simply because you like the experience that you get when you're there. You're like, I'm sorry, I would go somewhere else, but they don't say my pleasure and treat me like I'm an absolute goddess when I'm getting my chicken nuggets, right? So when you are selling, you're creating an experience. What you need to be careful of is sometimes we aren't aware of the selling experience we are giving. So one of the things that Zoe talked about was the experience you're giving when emotions and stories and real life sharing comes into your selling. And that's going to happen with live selling. It's actually very important in live selling to build connections with your buyers. Now, I was in a show, and this, if you think this is you, trust me, it's not. You're not the only one who's ever done this. You won't be the first, you won't be the last. This just happens, okay? But I was watching a show. I think it was a raid train. We came into a seller's room and they were having problems with their buttons. They were having problems with their technology. That happens to all of us. I've been selling on Whatnot for 4 years. I still have problems with the technology, right? But instead of laughing and saying, "Oh, pardon my," what I say is, "Oh, pardon my sausage fingers. It's my first day on the job," even though we know it's not, right? Instead of making it a joke and making it funny, this person said, "I am so sorry. And then they started listing all the things that are going wrong in their life. Now, as a buyer, all of the sudden, the happy room that just rated in, that was all excited about what had happened before, came in and instantly the vibe went, oh my goodness, like that's a lot, like it becomes uncomfortable. We've talked about this before. What you say in your show becomes part of the purchasing experience. So here's the question. I want to sell you this lovely piece of glass and a little sadness with it, right? Like, I want you to have a little guilt when you buy this. So you have to be careful what you say. Now, sometimes these things come out. Sometimes words pop out of your mouth and you're like, oh, crud, I did the thing that What Liz Like said not to do in her chat show when she said, don't give a negative experience when you're selling your items. There's an easy fix for this. Do you know what people love when there's sadness? They love solutions. They love survival stories. They love humor. They love hearing tenacity and go-gettedness. So let's go back to that situation I talked about. People rated in, someone was having problems with their technology. And the reason they were having problems with their technology was because they were dealing with a lot emotionally, and those emotions were affecting their fingers. And we all know this is true. You shake a little bit more when you are trying to deal with trauma and still show up on a raid train and sell stuff, right? That's going to happen. But what you can do is, let's say it comes out of your mouth and you're like, oh crap, I just did that thing I'm not supposed to do. So you're like, hi guys, sorry if my energy is low today. My dog just died. I got a flat tire and my Wi-Fi is having problems. If you stop there, you just bleh on your audience, right? Quick fix. But we will get through this. Why? Because we love life and we've got beautiful items, and beautiful items make everything better. Do you see how we took the insecurities and issues and turned it into survival and happiness and joy, and we will get through this? And that creates a connection and a positive experience, because I guarantee you, someone watching you is also going through hard things, right? And the people who aren't going through hard things, instead of feeling, oh, they can cheer you on and they can say, you've got this, you're going to do great, we love you. Exactly. Speak it into existence. So if you find the negative coming out, quick fix. But we've got this. We're going to do great. I can do this and you can do it too. We're all going to survive this. We've all survived harder things in years past. This is no different. We're going to get through it and we're going to sell beautiful items. See the quick recovery? I just watched a show last week. I definitely did a few guilty buys. And here's the thing though, Shiwu, if you do guilty buys, does it make you want to go back to that seller, or does it make you want to avoid the seller because you don't want to get stuck buying things that are avoid? See, that's the thing. You can get buyers to buy with a sad story, but it's hard to get them to come back because they don't necessarily enjoy the purchase. There's a difference when you're like, let me show you the difference. Oh my gosh, my truck broke down. I have to buy a new catalytic converter. They're so expensive, guys. So we're doing a show. Every penny goes towards this, but I don't want you to buy it because you feel bad for me. Thank you for buying soap. I want you to buy because it's beautiful and because you want to help someone succeed in life. If you feel like you're part of the solution, do you want to go back and buy from that person again? Yes, because you want to check on them and hear how they're doing. You want to hear, did you get your catalytic converter? Did my purchase make a difference in somebody's life? Those are happy purchases. Those are purchases that make you want to go back and invest in that person's growth and pulling them out of the mud. But if someone's pulling you down into the mud, it's different. So I just want to tell you guys, whether you're intentional about it or not, everything you do creates an experience. You do have control over that experience. If you're not aware of it, start being aware of it. Start paying attention. What kind of what am I giving to my audience? Am I just selling items? Am I selling items and a sad story? Am I selling items and hope? And like today in Zoe's Treasure Show, they started talking about some health concerns of a family member, and that family member got on and shared their hope and their joy in that situation. And hearts were in the chat everywhere, right? So it was like turned into a positive thing. So you can still share the authentic, you can share the real, you can share, oh, my shop flooded, but we will carry on. But make sure that you put that positive in there so that the experience is one that people connect to in a positive way, not in a, oh my goodness, I feel so bad for you way. Does that make sense? Okay. So Zoe's Treasures, just wanted to shout that out. Do. Oh, Zoe, I was gonna try this today. I'm going to try it next week because I have to do it on my computer. The pop out. You guys follow Zoe's Treasures. I was going to show something she talked about in her show today. Didn't have time to set it up. We're not going to set it up. So follow Zoe's Treasures because she will talk about it. But she talked about a pop out analytic that you can get while you're live, but that you can't see after your show is over. So follow Zoe's Treasures and ask her about that in her next show. She will talk to you about that. Noelle's World, you're very welcome. I hope that that feedback is valuable. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Green 13. Somebody please tag Green 13. Does everybody here know who Green 13? If you don't know Green 13, say no. Zoe's Mod, I don't ever want to get rid of you. Oh, we've got a couple people that do not know Green 13. Well, please let me introduce them to you. This is why I do these tags. Somebody tag Green 13. No, that is, you got to spell it out. Green 13, all the way spell it out. No underscores. 13 is a long word, but it's Green 13. Now, there it is, Julie B. Julie B, you've been an amazing. Let me just shout out Julie B real quick because she's been doing some tags for me. Julie B has a show today, 8 p.m., a paper claim show. Ooh, we love a good craft supplier. Okay, there's Green 13. We've got Coastal Peacock Co., 10 Mile Studio. Everybody, thank you for tagging Green 13. If you're not following or watching Green 13, you should be. Now, he's live right now. Don't go watch him right now. Stay here because I'm selfish and I want you. Y'all are such fibbers. Are there liars in there? I didn't even pay attention to the names saying no. I'm like, if I love discounts, you liar. Yeah, you big liar. I always tell my husband, the only thing fat about you are your lies, your big fat lies. Now I want to know if the underscore is there or not. For who? For what? Did you see the title to his show today? No, what is it? Useless junk, worthless junk, don't buy this. What's his title today? Okay, so Green 13 is one of my favorite sellers. Worthless junk. Yeah, they use that one all the time. Jeremy is very tongue-in-cheek. In fact, if he tells you he's selling you garbage, it's the opposite. It always is. Okay. What were we going to say about Green 13 other than that they rock? Green 13 does a chat show, and Zoe's T Mod, also the other part of Zoe's Treasures, records it and puts it on YouTube for him. So thank you, Zoe's T Mod. Zoe's T Mod also does the same for me. You can find the information in my show notes. But in his August 13th chat show, and you can find this Reese on Reselling on YouTube. You can rewatch this. It's the August 13th show. And he talked about watching your analytics for how many people are in your room versus how many people come into your room and leave your room. So for instance, I have a red dot. What does my red dot say to you right now? How many people does it show you that I have in my room? Okay, showing me the same thing. I have 114 according to the red dot. The red dot is not accurate, okay? There are people that might be watching this on a live tile, which means they haven't clicked in, they just long pressed it. If you've ever watched my chat show through a live tile without clicking in, say me in the chat. Have you ever watched a show via a live tile without clicking in? I have. Okay, we've got people in here. So people can be watching your show without ever showing up in your red dot. Also, there are people that come into your show and leave so fast that they don't show up on the red dot, okay? So there might actually be at any given moment 3 times what that dot says, and you don't really know it because the red dot only counts people that are staying in, I think, for 30 seconds or more, okay? So there are analytics that let you see how many people were in your red dot for the most part versus how many people actually came into your room. It's just that they left. You don't get to see the live tile watchers, unfortunately. So you have no clue how many are watching via live tile. But there's a quick way to get this same analytic in a very jarring, uncomfortable way. And that's via a raid train. Okay. Who here has been in a raid train, been raided, or just in a regular raid? This also happens in any raid. If you get raided, whether it's a raid train or whether it's just a raid during your live show, like we just got raided by Zoe's Treasures, right? If I scroll all the way up, I don't know if I can find it. I might have to scroll too far. Hold on. Can I find it again? I can't. It's way too far up. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Zoe's Treasures rated with a party of 72. Now, I originally had, I think, 30 to 35 to 40. So do the math. I'm keeping a large number of Zoe's Treasures raid. Now, that also happens to be because Zoe's Treasures and I share a lot of viewers. But when you get rated, you get an instant, usually very uncomfortable reality to how many people you can keep in your show. Okay? Hold on. Are people red chatting share the show or shared the show? One Love Laser. Nobody's red chatting that to me. And then we've got the incognito. Yes, House of Duke. We get the incognito viewers too. But don't incognito viewers show up in the red dot? Somebody tell me if I'm right or wrong. Because sometimes I don't see it in chat. They do. That's what I thought. Incognito, they don't show up in the chat, but they do show up in your red dot. So incognito still is shown in the red dot. But when you get raided, how many people can you keep from that raid? Now, who here, like I typically, if I don't want to stay in a raid, I try to leave before the raid happens. I don't want to show up in someone's red dot just to leave. I often leave raids very quickly. Is that rude of me? Yes, but usually when I'm in somebody's show, I'm there for a reason. My time is very tight, so I do not have time to stay in people's shows. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I stay in the raid and I just mute them because usually I have like other things I'm talking to my kids or I'm, doing stuff. So sometimes I will stay in a raid and I will just put it on mute. Sometimes I have to leave right away, as well as Whatnot employees. Oh, Millicent's good question. I don't know. Do Whatnot employees count in the red dot? I believe when I was considered a Whatnot employee, I believe I was counted in a red dot. So, Zoe's T Mod says the ones you don't see sharing is because you're past a certain number of people in your room. Oh, as far as like people in the chat, yeah, once you get past 50 people, you don't see all the joins and everything like that. I'm missing a bunch of stuff in the chat. I apologize. Go ahead and answer each other's questions. I am really hot right now. I'm perimenopausal, so if I look extra shiny, it's because I'm sweating for no reason. You're very welcome for the TMI. Okay. So Green 13 talked a lot about this, and I recommend watching his show. But you need to ask yourself, if you can't keep a raid, what's the reason? Now, again, I said Zoe's Treasures, we share a lot of viewers. So it's no surprise to me that we were able to keep a large part of that raid. But if you don't know the person, if you can keep half of a raid, like say you get raided by 80 people, if you can keep 40 of them in your room for more than 1 minute, you're actually doing a really good job. Okay. You're doing a really good job. So I don't want you to feel bad if your numbers go down. It is normal for people to raid and for those numbers to just go away. But there are things you can do to catch those people and to keep them in your show. especially with a raid train, because in a raid train, there is an expectation that people are going to stay, right? So there's things you can do. Run a giveaway. One Love Laser, thank you so much for the tip. I so appreciate it. You can run a giveaway. It's got to be a good giveaway, though. People aren't going to stay in a raid for stickers, okay? It's got to be something good. Do I run giveaways for raids? No, I don't. But that's something you can do. Run an item right away at a really good price. What would you say is acceptable? I mean, Coastal Peacock, you can't go wrong with an Amazon gift certificate. And let's not even talk about the whatnot gift certificates. We still don't have them. We wish we did. But a $5 Amazon gift certificate, most people are willing to stick in for that just for a stocking stuffer. But you've also got to, the giveaway will not keep them alone. Okay. What would you say is acceptable to ask of others? Like in a raid train? Like, I don't join raid trains that require giveaways because I just don't do them. I just don't do them. So you can do a giveaway as a host. Coastal Peacock, are you asking what's acceptable to ask of your raid train participants as a raid train host? You ask whatever matches the goals of your raid train. So for instance, big sellers usually have big giveaway requirements in their raid trains because they are trying to attract the most amount of people. I don't join raid trains that require a giveaway because I don't like doing giveaways. That's me. But if you're the host, you need to look at the goals of your show. If the goals of your show is to have the most amount of people at the raid point, then you might want to require a high gift card raid train thing, giveaway. But you just have to be prepared for people to say they're not, like, I'm not going to participate if you do that unless everything else lines up for me and I'm like, oh, they're known for getting a lot of people. I've seen people get good sales in them. A lot of the people that buy from me are going to like what this raid train is encompassing. That might be worth it for me to do a giveaway for. But all those things have to line up. So it really depends on your raid train. How much advertising are you doing for it as the, like, how much are you putting in for it as the host too, is something I would look at. Like if you're just going to do a raid train and you're going to say, hey, you have to have a giveaway, I'm going to be like, but what are you doing to meet me on that? Because you're the host. Are you advertising it? Are you shouting it out? Or are you just expecting us to do it? In which case, no. That's me though. Hold on. Mangelica Fine says, good morning, Liz. Do you recommend nice giveaways to build a following when first starting out? Thank you. It depends on what your goals are, Mangelica. So I don't like doing giveaways. I would rather do low starts, which that's another way to receive a raid. If you started a giveaway and you ran something at a low price, you're going to get the giveaway people and you're going to get the buyers, right? So those two things together can be a great combination for receiving a raid. The other thing you need to do with raids is you need to appreciate the person that raided you, right? If Zoe's Treasures had raided me with 74 people and I was just like, thanks for raiding, and that's all I said, I would have lost people. People would have left because they would have been offended for Zoe's Treasures. So you need to shout out the name. My rule is you need to say the name of the person who raided you at least 3 times. You also need to acknowledge the people that came in with the raid. It's not just about the raider, it's about all the people that came in. One thing you can do, I've done this before. I don't do it now, but I've done this in the past where I've said, welcome in everybody, you guys. And I would use that as the time to invite people to promote. And I'd say, hey, introduce yourselves to each other. Share your shows. Thank you, Shiwu, for purchasing the notes. Forgotten. Ew, don't raid me. I have seen that before. I've seen people get annoyed by raids. I've in a raid train, where you already have knowledge of who is raiding into you. I have seen people say, welcome in raid, and then start selling. And that's all they said. And it was like, no, you don't do that. You have to say the name of the person that, these are my rules. This is life according to Liz. Ignore me if you don't like this. I know, Back Porch Vintage. It's like you're missing an opportunity to connect. The people that come in on a raid, they're not there for you. They're there for the person whose show they were just in. You need to connect with the raider You need to connect with the people in the raid, and you need to keep the people that were already in your room. So if you stop selling just to talk to a raid, you might lose the people that were in your room to buy too. There's a whole lot of balls you're juggling when someone raids into you. Exactly. This is what Liz likes. This is life according to Liz. They are your guests. You're welcoming them in, right? Imagine you're having a birthday party and you're worried that anyone's going to show up, and you've got 3 friends that show up, and then like Duke Wellington, the popular kid from school, shows up with 40 guests with him. Like, how are you going to receive that, right? You can't ignore your friends that showed up for you already. You've got to welcome in the people that just came, and you've got to acknowledge the host, right? Back Porch Vintage says, I try reaching out to who's before me and after just to say hi and introduce myself. That's very smart. I like to look at their shops so I can say, and I like to be in the person that's rating me and see what they're selling and be like, oh, did you guys like those plushies that so-and-so was selling? They were so cute. Thanks for coming in. You know, Duke Wellington is popular and rich Tober. Some names are just rich names. Mangelica Fines says, I hope I'm saying your name right. Not a raid question. Did you follow the Seller Academy guide to build your business, or did you model another seller, use other guidelines? So, Mangelica, I joined Whatnot before the Seller Academy ever existed. Sorry, my hair is bugging me. I joined Whatnot before Seller Academy was even a dream in someone's mind. We were on our own. I just used regular good sales principles. So what you have to do is look what makes you go into a brick and mortar. What makes you stay in a brick and mortar, right? What makes you watch a YouTube channel? Look at things in your own life. What encourages you to spend your money? All those things are all applicable on Whatnot, right? So if you just look at good business practices, and maybe you're not a good salesperson, but if you're a good buyer, look at what makes you buy and put that into your show. The early days of Whatnot really were like the Wild West, 100%, 100%. Thank you, Confident Beauty. I try to be confident with my beauty, but sometimes the bump just goes the wrong way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know. Rock, Paper, Salvage is a good name, isn't it? Okay, now where were we? So, follow Green 13. He gives great advice on this kind of stuff. He's got great chat shows. They're on YouTube, they're here on Whatnot. But a lot of good sales techniques that I learned just by watching. Green 13 didn't used to have a chat show. I used to watch him just to learn how to sell. You can learn a lot just by watching a good seller. So if you find a seller, now listen, here's the thing. Find a seller that sells similar items to you. Find a seller that has the same amount of help that you do. So if you're a one-person show, don't necessarily, I mean, watch to learn, but also don't compare yourself to someone who has a whole team, right? Because if they've got someone that packs for them, of course they can go live every day. I call that bump a cowlick. No, the cowlick is when it's like, my son has one. He has 2. It looks like 2 cows licked him on both sides and they converge. Okay, we need to shout out Starlight Evergreen. All one word, no underscores, spelt the way it sounds. Starlight Evergreen. Jackie Go Vintage, I do not watch to learn what not to do. I mean, you're going to see that, but there are some people that are making a lot of money doing everything I wouldn't do. Thank you for purchasing Notes Wildflowers. Ah, thank you so much. One Love Laser tagged Starlight Evergreen. Everybody, if you sell vintage Christmas or anything that hangs, please follow or go watch Starlight Evergreen. Starlight Evergreen was doing a Christmas show. Now, she has a setup kind of like this. She has white shelves behind her. On the underside, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to get dark ones so they blend in with my shelves. She had the little hooks that you screw in to hang your mugs from. You know how your grandma and grandpa had like mug hangers on their shelves? She had little hooks screwed in under her shelves. You couldn't see them because they were white. They matched her shelves. and her Christmas ornaments that she was selling, she was doing vintage Christmas, and all the stand like sit down items were on the shelf, and then the ornaments were hanging from clear fish wire off of the hooks. Stunning way to display ornaments in a way like she would just grab one off the hook and then hold it and run it. Oh, she's a beautiful personality. She's got a great setup. There's a lot you can learn from her. Watch her. She will teach you some really good sales setups, the way, and we're going to talk about all of that today. But the hooks, that was the first time I'd seen the hooks. Loved that idea. Totally stealing it. You should too. Thank you. Thank you, Hill yeah treasures. I love it. Hill yeah. I like that because I can cuss without cussing. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Pixie Dust Treasures. No underscores. Pixie is Pixie. Pixie Dust Treasures. Vintage Sisters SoCal. That's why I shout these people out, because we're in a sea of a million sellers on Whatnot. Some of these people you're never going to find on your own. So I like to shout them out so that you guys can go find them and learn these things for yourself. All right. One Love Laser tagged Pixie Dust Treasures. So did Julie B. Thank you both for tagging Pixie Dust Treasures. Now listen, you should follow Pixie Dust Treasures, especially if you're a new seller. And if you have questions about raid trains, follow Pixie Dust Treasures. Pixie Dust Treasures, are you in here? I told her I wanted to co-host her if she wanted to this morning. So I don't know if she's going to come in here or not. But Pixie Dust Treasures did a raid train specifically to teach people how to do raid trains. So she conducted a raid train that was a learning one. Very similar to like Zoe's Treasures CEO challenge. It was a raid train where new sellers were brought in and she told them all the things she wanted them to do. Then they did the raid train and she watched them. And then this was the best part and I loved it. She did a raid train review. And very much like Zoe's Treasures does with the CEO challenge, Pixie Dust went through every seller on the raid train and talked about what they did right and what they did wrong and what they need to fix. As just a seller, the information she was saying, oh, this is all specific to raid trains. I'm sorry. Anything that works in a raid train will work in your regular selling. She was giving such good advice. How to receive a raid, how to have your show set up, how to have your lighting set up, where to put your items on the screen, everything. Everything she was saying was applicable to every single seller on this app. So 10/10 recommend. Follow Pixie Treasure Dust. If you are a new seller and you're trying to learn skills, even if you're an old seller and you're just like, do I have what it takes? Have I gotten rusty? Have I focused too much on getting in on the ground floor? Are there things that I can learn? I recommend I want to join one of her raid trains just to have an honest review of my skills and say, what can I improve? So amazing. Loved it, loved it, loved it. From your experience, do people really buy it now items? Yes, they do. My buy it now is so dusty. There's cobwebs on my listings. But when I was keeping them up, yes, I made sales on my buy it now. I made them at the same time rate that I would sell on eBay though. So, slow as you go. But yeah, if you have good items, good prices, and you keep your inventory fresh, your buy it now can definitely function like an eBay, but it also requires the same amount of work as an eBay. And I find auctions to be better because Whatnot is an auction site. But yeah, I've been out and about, not live, and made sales through my buy it now. I love it when that happens, but it's slow like molasses and you do have to babysit it. It's like having a booth, right? You can't just put items up in a booth like at an antique mall and just expect that like it's gorgeous the first day, right? You make a ton of sales the first week and then sales flatten out because everybody that goes to that store has already seen what you have. You have to keep it fresh. You have to keep it rotated. That's a lot of work. Why not just sell it one and done in a live? Shop Happy says, I make sales often from my buy it now. So go check out Shop Happy's buy it now. If you want to sell through your buy it now, follow sellers who make sales through their buy it now and look at what they're doing. Um, oh yeah, Mel. Well, here's the thing, Mel. Hold on, let me get the name right. Mel and Stella Cards. If your items are highly sought after, listen, a hen on a nest is gonna sell quite easily through a buy it now. If it's priced right, if it's priced right. Remember, you don't have auction fever, so it has to be priced right or be right, right? I'm tempted to use Vendu to have more control over eBay and whatnot. Oh, let me tell you, Angelica, you still have to babysit it. It doesn't do everything for you. I used Vendu and I'm sorry, it was not good at removing stuff from inventory. I started having issues with selling stuff that had already sold because I assumed Vendu took care of that and they didn't. So just use it, but just be aware you have to babysit it. Okay, next up, Living Bliss Vintage. Somebody tag Living Bliss Vintage, no underscores, exactly how it sounds, Living Bliss Vintage. And Shy, if you're in here, say hi in the chat, but I think she's working. Thank you. One Love Laser and Tober2 both tagged Living Bliss Vintage. I was in her chat show. Do you have a buy it now seller recommendations? If anyone in here who makes regular sales from your buy it now, say hi in the chat. Say follow me in the chat. One Love Laser said hi. Melon Stella Card said hi, follow me. So if you make regular sales through your buy it now, say follow me in the chat so that they can follow you. I don't know who they are because I've only bought 2 things from a buy it now on Whatnot. Okay, Living Bliss Vintage, who was tagged earlier. Living Bliss Vintage said in a chat show of hers, she said, oh, in her chat show, we saw a shipping glitch. I've seen the shipping glitch in my own shows. A shipping glitch is when a buyer sees a different shipping than what they should. So, for instance, in my situation, I had $6 max shipping, I think it was, and a buyer had bought some items. They hit the free shipping level and they started seeing 921 in their shipping. Now, they bought from me and they were like, oh my goodness, I just realized I paid 921. What am I supposed to do? 9 times out of 10, when that happens, they have actually been charged the correct price. I have yet to see it happen where they were charged what they saw. What they see is wrong. What they're actually charged, from my experience, is right. But what you need to do is tell that person, hey, you need to leave the show and come back. It should refresh and show you the right shipping. Now, with Shy and Living Bliss Vintage, she was doing some test runs and the glitch was the reverse. The person was seeing less. So they saw 62 cents for shipping, and the shipping in reality was like $34. Can you imagine if you made that purchase and then you realized after the fact that you thought you paid 64 cents shipping, but you paid $34 in shipping? You've had that happen as a buyer with the shipping. So the lost ledger, something that I recommend, buyback porch vintage, something that I recommend to my buyers because I don't send packing slips. I always take photos. I take screenshots. Like when someone buys something, like they'll buy this and I'll be like, oh, thank you so much, Sable Lou, screenshot. And I take a screenshot and it shows me as the seller, it shows me their name, it shows the item, and it shows how much they paid for it and the timestamp and everything for me. I do that for me. But in my show notes, when I'm selling that way, I say, this is why I take screenshots. I recommend you take screenshots for your own records. Because if you take a screenshot as the buyer and you can show it said 64 cents when I bought this, Whatnot has to make it 64 cents. Or they're going to do something for you. They're going to not give you they have to fix it because that was their system that didn't refresh on time and showed the wrong number. Okay. So I have always recommended that if you're purchasing generic listings, you should always take screenshots of your purchases. If you don't know how to take a screenshot on your phone, I highly recommend you learn it. Mangelica Fine says, I sent you screenshots of the glitch. I was in the show when Living Bliss Finch spotlight. Okay, so you were there, Mangelica. And screenshots matter, right? Screenshots matter for your own records. Mary Lack, I do recommend it, especially if you're a wild buyer like I've been. If you're a wild buyer that doesn't pay attention to those things, take those screenshots, okay? They can be insurance for you. Let me see if there was anything else we were supposed to say. Nope, just follow Living Bliss Vintage. She's amazing. Okay, Michelle's Deals. If someone could tag Michelle's Deals, I think she's live right now. But Michelle's Deals showed something that I often say, but she actually did it. Makes a world of difference. Thank you. Sabaloo, good morning. Sabaloo and Tober2 both tagged Michelle's Deals. I recommend that you follow her. She's an amazing seller. She's going to teach you lots of stuff. I believe she does a chat show every now and then too. She did something that I often say, but never do. And I'm going to start doing because it makes a big difference. Okay. I often will show things like this and I'll say, and I know it's not a fairy lamp, but you put a battery tea light in here and this is going to act like a fairy lamp. Good idea. It's helped me make sales. But you know what makes sales even better? This is what Michelle's Deals does. She goes, and watch you guys, put a battery tea light in there, instant fairy lamp experience, right? Like she shows you with the light. Huge difference. And I started playing around with this and I was like, you know what? You can do it with so much more than just glass too. Like, let me show you. Pardon all the clinking sounds. Reticulated Italian ceramics. Yes, please. Look at that. You put some fairy lights in there, you've got instant glow. And if I turned off my lights, like the glow. Oh my goodness, right? So that, if you do it, hold on, whoops. Did you know you can put battery lights in little pumpkins? Even just for your backdrops, having that on your shelf, like, so good. So good. So don't discount the power of light. And I loved that Michelle's Deals. I've always given that idea to people. I've said it. I've never shown it. And I'm like, you know what? She made people buy, like you instantly saw her bids go up when she put the light on. And I was like, I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it. I love discounts. I love discounts. Do you not have battery op? Listen, I have so many of these things and I love them. Love them. Okay. But like, seriously, when you're trying to sell a fairy light lamp, when you're trying to sell a fairy light to someone, people that don't know the trend and people that never wanted one before, they're like, okay, I don't get what the big deal is. But then you add the lighting and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I could see why people like that. Like, that's pretty. Imagine this sitting on your bookshelf. You can get the timer tea lights. And so it's 6 o'clock in the middle of winter when everything's dark and dreary. All of a sudden your house just starts glowing and you didn't have to get up and do anything. That's why we like fairy lamps. Okay. So Michelle's Deals, thank you for teaching me. It's better to show it than to say it. Millicents, they should. They totally should. Okay. Last shout out of the day. Wild Hope. We've talked about Wild Hope in the past. We're going to talk about her again. So if someone could tag Wild Hope, all one word, Wild Hope, if you're in here, you can say hi. Thank you. Sabaloo tagged Wild Hope. Thank you, Tober2. Thank you, One Love Laser. There she is. She's an absolute sweetheart. She's in the art handmade category. So if you're in that category, I recommend following her. She does a chat show, very good community chat show where she connects people in the handmade and art made category. She was talking, I was in her chat show. We were talking about the healing properties of art and all the things that go into the art that we sell and everything. And she said a phrase that I was like, oh, this would make me buy a jacket. She needs this on every listing of, she sells jackets made out of cutter quilts. So like old quilts that can't be used as blankets anymore, she turns them into jackets. And she said this quote, and I was like, you need this on every label. She said, I've sewed my soul into 1,000 jackets. Because we were talking about art, and when we use art for healing, that like our heartache, our growth, everything goes into that art when we're creating to heal. And she's like, she was talking about her journey of using art. Hi, Fragmented Artist, of using art to heal. And when you put that into a business, how that can affect your business and the emotions and all of that. She talked about all of it, but I just loved that thought. I've sewed my soul into 1,000 jackets. Can you even? Like, I want to buy a jacket just so I could tell people, yes, a soul was sewed into this. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So I just wanted to shout her out for that. All right. Let's talk about, it's on my notes. It's literally next in line, but this is perfect because it's showing up on my thing. The new fonts. Can everybody see the new fonts now? I didn't see it for a long time, but now I see it. Do you see the rainbow fonts and like the different, girl, you just sold it, right? Okay, the new fonts. Tell me if you love them or hate them in the chat. Tell me if you love them or hate them. They're fun. They're cute. As a seller, I hate them. They are so hard to read. You hate that it's not permanent. I hate that I can't get rid of it. Like, I am counting down the hours till mine wears out. And I think I'm past that time frame, and it was still doing it to me this morning. Like, I turn them off. I have to remind myself to turn them off. I have no issues. I live in the fun. Coastal Peacock Co. I wish I could be that fun. Like, I was all excited for it at first, but when I'm selling, and you guys know that right now I'm doing a lot of selling, doing live shopping. So there's so many things going on when I'm trying to sell. Like, I am so overwhelmed, and I'm trying to read the chat. When you're trying to read and the text changes with every line, and especially the pulse one, which was the one I picked because I thought it was cool. Big letters, small letters, big letters, small letters. It is so hard to read it. The rainbow one is like faded and it like smooths. Like, I don't. It's fun. It's fun. But as a seller, it's distracting and it makes it harder for me to keep up on the chat. And I think the whole intention with it was so that you could choose to make your text more visible, kind of like when you tip or when you ask a question and make it yellow. But these type fonts, dear whatnot, I need you to know they are not more visible. Like, yellow is visible. I know you fixed the green thing so people couldn't fake tip anymore. I'm glad you did that. But like the rainbow lettering, House of Duke, it visually, my mind is set to read white text and yellow text all the same size. Will my mind adapt? Hopefully. How do you get them? Fragmented Artist, you have to have points. You have to do, I think the challenge button is like up here for you guys. You have to do challenges. You have to purchase them. Yeah, the fake tip was a thing. The fake tip was a thing. People were using green chat to say they would write out tipped 20 even though they didn't tip, and people would shout them out and say, "Oh my gosh, thank you for the tips," and then realize that they didn't get a tip. So I just wanted to say, dear whatnot, it's fun, it's cute, but I don't know that it's helping engagement or sales. And as a user, I've been frustrated because my own text, if I don't remember to turn it off, I've noticed that my text, my chats don't get read as much when it's in a different font. I think they removed the green. They made it like a cloud or something. Oh, Zoe's Mod says you don't see them when you're on the computer. Oh, interesting. But see, Whatnot wants people to use the app. So if it makes people go to the computer, I think that there should be a way to turn it off. Same. I prefer getting stories back or allowing videos. Oh, 100 Patty makes 100. You can only turn it off for yourself. You can't turn it off for everybody else. Mary Lack says, I wish they had cuter jumbotrons. Most seem good for card sellers. I feel the same way about the emojis. The flying emojis, I have yet to see one that like really calls to me. Yeah, I even read red chat off the desktop because it wasn't red. Oh, cereal. Put boobs first so computer people know not to say it. Okay, dear whatnot. Or PayPal, yes, or PayPal. I just can't keep up with all those. Boobs is just so much easier. I'm a fan of boobs. It makes me immature, I know, but I'll never forget that one. BBC. I'm reading red chats right now. People are putting in all the things that different work. BBC is shorter, but I can never remember, and I always worry if it's going to work or not. One Love Laser, I totally get it. I'm a guy though, and it's weird to say boobs to women. I get it. I totally get it. But to me, boobs is just it's just an activator word for this. And literally as long as you're not saying anything gross, like if you're saying show me your boobs, yeah, they're that blocked, instantly blocked. But if you say boobs, can you rerun that item? Trust me, first off, I don't know you're a guy unless you tell me. And second of all, that's just business on Whatnot. Now, granted, someone new might not know. I know, Sabaloo. Porch goose, I think, has something to do with racist stuff. Depends on where you are, where you're from. Confident Beauty says, I wrote a. Oh, sorry. Confident Beauty got blocked by someone for saying boobs to keep something private. Well, it depends. What did you say that was private? Maybe she blocked you for what you said. I've used it with sellers who did not know, and it's hard to explain. That's true, Millicent. That's true. But what better way to teach them? Coastal Peacock Co says, right, hubby and I are on the same account. I call everyone beautiful so they know the difference. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, with I love discounts, I can usually tell who it is based on what they say, but not always. Not always can I tell. Okay, dear Whatnot. Dear Whatnot. I know I've said these before, but at this point, it's getting obnoxious that you haven't made these changes. And no, I'm not talking about a pre-bid button. We've all given up hope on that one. But dear Whatnot, the coding exists. It's out there. It shouldn't be that hard. And this should be something that takes priority because this is integral to customer service on Whatnot. So, dear Whatnot, please let us mute conversations in private messages. Let us search our messages by keyword. Let us delete messages. I don't want to archive it. I want to delete it. Okay. Let us block people via messages and not block them in Whatnot. I don't want to have to block someone just to not get their messages. I just want to block their messages because they're annoying. Okay. Dear Whatnot, please turn your private messages in app into a useful tool and not just something that barely works like a clanky broken down car that we added duct tape to because it's all that we had. I know you can do it. The coding exists. So many platforms have it. It's time to fix this. If you're expecting to roll out customer service, you have got to fix your private messages because there's going to be a lot of frustrated sellers and there's going to be a lot of blocking and there's going to be a lot of removing if you don't fix this before you roll out app-wide customer service. Signed, a very concerned Whatnot seller who's just trying to help you do the right thing. Get your act together, Whatnot. It's way too easy a fix for you to not have done it yet. And then get this, Whatnot. If you make it so I can just quickly delete a message, I will not even be that bothered by people who spam me their shows. I'll be a little bothered, but I won't be super bothered. Signed, everyone. Exactly. I love discounts. Thank you. By the way, I love discounts _com. They are doing a shipping show later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do it. D, what's the no for? 5 p.m. That's 5 p.m. your time. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what I said. Wait, did you put it at 7? Is it 5 your time or is it 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Because it said 7. I heard you and Zoe talking about it today. Hold on. I know. I heard the whole thing in Zoe's thing. So I was like, I'm going to make sure I say the right time. It literally says 7 p.m. Can you see how annoyed I am by you? It literally says 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love discounts. Tony, I don't care what the whole thing is. Go fix it. Or let me be a truth teller. Reselling Everything says they did 546 million in funding. They don't have time to fix old problems. They're moving on to the exit strategy. Possibly Reselling Everything, possibly, but right now I feel like Whatnot is still holding on to Whatnot. I don't feel that like they're an exit strategy yet. And this is an easy fix. His and Her Shop Chicago says, if you send me a random show, I send you a random DP from the internet to keep the universe balanced. What's a DP? What's a DP? Interrogator. I do not recommend sharing your shows via private message on Whatnot. I do not. It's junk mail. Interrogator, do you like getting junk mail? Do you open your junk mail and do you use the junk mail that you get, or do you instantly put it in your garbage box? That's how people feel about show shares. Oh, a D-pic? That's illegal. You can't be doing that. You guys, listen. If somebody sends you a D-pic on a dating app, report them to the police. Indecent exposure is illegal in most states in the US, okay? You send one to me, I'm taking you to the police. I do not want to see that. Listen, I was boating the other day with a friend. Her swimsuit was old and she kept getting out and she was like totally mooning me. And then we got to the dock and she got up and she was mooning and I came up to her and I was like, all right, listen, I can see a bare butt and be fine. I have no problem with that. But we are not doing that here on the dock where people are closer to you. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, it's indecent exposure and it's illegal and you can get the police called on you. Like, I am totally trying to save your bacon. Yes, it is illegal to expose yourself without consent. FYI, if you didn't know it. Millicent, somebody sent that to you? I'm not reading that out loud. That's horrible. Wouldn't that be an integral piece of information for dating, though? Listen, Reselling Everything. If you ask for it, if you need to know that information, you ask someone for it. If someone just gives you that information without you asking for it, that's indecent exposure. Don't drink while we talk about this. You will spit it out at some point. Can you sell foul words in things here? Oh, can you sell things with foul words here on Whatnot? Jackie Go Vintage, make sure you have explicit turned on. I don't turn on explicit. Dear Whatnot, if you're still here and listening, which they're not, they never come to my shows, but if they did, dear Whatnot, out of all the things that you read, chat, including the word muff, which I know is a bad word in other countries, but it's an actual item that I sell in vintage decor because it covers your hands and keeps them warm in the wintertime. If you're going to red chat that, if you're going to red chat a donut and an eggplant, would you please just red chat the F word? Please? From a little old church lady, and then let people choose to turn it off in their explicit shows? Like, why do I get to see the F word, but I can't see boobs? That's sexist, by the way, because only females have them. Just kidding. Yes, the F word. Reselling Everything, booted. We don't, this is a G-rated show, or PG-13, because I can't control you guys. I know, Grammy's Petals. Listen, you don't want to hear my opinion on the F word because it is very harsh and it will make you all mad at me. But I will say this much. I won't say it. Never mind. I'll make you all mad at me. Just don't say it in my show. I don't like it. You can say Farfignugan. I'll take that, but not the other one. Okay. All right. Back to our topics. Yes. You just saw it, Jackie. It's really red chatted. What Liz doesn't like. Exactly. Exactly. That's what Liz doesn't like. I know Lost Ledger, but to me, that's the fifth grade word. I get why you don't like it. And I totally get why boobs would be offensive to a lot of people. And that's why I don't mind if other people use the F word. It's not their fault that I hear it the way that I hear it and I interpret it the way I interpret it, and that I know too much about words and their histories to ever accept that as an okay word. Um, Boobs I'm okay with because I am sophomoric and I do feel like, but I do agree. I agree. It's okay for people to be offended by that. It's odd what words get recognized and red chatted. The host shouldn't see words they also mute. Oh, I agree. Listen, if I would like to have words that aren't just red chatted, I would like them to be like unshown. You know how we can't say certain things in private messages? Which, dear whatnot, why do you do that in private messages? Do you know what I just end up doing? I just take a screenshot and I send it to him anyway. Blocking words in private messages has never worked. Should you not share a show when the host asks you to? Uh Jackie, or sorry, Interrogator. Let me, if a host tells you to share a show, let me teach you a trick. Click the share button and then click copy link. You're going to see the little blue thing float up, right? It algorithmically is supposed to share the show, but you don't actually post the link anywhere. You just copy the link. Yeah. So you can do that. It'll make the host happy. But for your own shows, you should be sharing them on your social media. So if I wanted to share the show, if I click on share, it pops up and I have all these people on the top that I can send it to. Like I can send it to Visuals and Fragmented Artist and Slab Daddy US and I Love Discounts and La La Girl 2 and Ellie Cantuelli, right? Or if I was being smart and didn't want to bug those people, I would look at the next layer, and that shows I can copy the link. I can text it to someone. I can post it to Facebook. I can send it via Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, Instagram stories, and so many others. That's where you should be sharing your show. That's where you should be sharing your show. Um, do, 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 do. One Love Laser says, if you go into a show and ask in the chat if you can promote, you just did. Yeah, never go into listen, read my show notes. Read my show notes. What do my show notes say? My show notes say, please do not ask to promote your shows. I will invite all sellers to promote at least 3 times during every show. I don't post that unless I'm actually going to do it, but I did it at the beginning of this show. I'm going to do it again somewhere in the middle, and then I'm going to do it at the end. And that's when you can promote your show. Do not come into someone's show and say, "Can I promote?" It's very, very rude. I know it doesn't feel rude when you're the one doing it because you're like, "Hey, you've got 123 people in here. What would it hurt you to let me just say, "Hey, I'm selling vintage decor on Tuesday," right? This cereal hobbyist, I've taken a lot of drinks. I'm sorry, I've been so rude today. I've been drinking without allowing to promote yet. Ah. It's so rude to ask to promote, but a lot of people don't know that. And listen, again, I'm going to say this. I always say this. If you're a new seller, if you're a brand new seller, you want people to promote in your chat because it makes the chat move and it gives you something to talk about. And as a new seller, you absolutely should be inviting people to promote their shows. Notice I say invite. I know a lot of big sellers that totally give carte blanche. They're like, no, share your shows, share your shows. Those are big sellers that don't need to read their chat. Their shows go so fast, they don't need their chat. For me, when I'm selling, I'm in a live shopping experience. My chat is the only way that I make sales. So if my chat is people asking to promote and people promoting, I cannot make sales because my chat is clogged. So you need to know that the people, you're like, well, these guys let me promote in their show. They're one of two things. They're either really small or they're really, really big and they don't read the chat. And what does it even benefit you? Who here has shared a show like promoted yourself in a chat in a big seller show and you posted it and it instantly went whoop. Nobody's reading that. Nobody's reading that. And in a small seller show, you've got like maybe 10 people reading it, right? The best way to share your show is through your social media and through going live often and performing well as a seller. Right now, listen, guys, I'm going to invite you, everybody promote your shows. While you're promoting your shows in my chat, let me tell you, I have a show later today, 2 p.m. I'm going to be taking part in the Shop Happy Challenge. I'm going to be trying to auction off 2 items. I don't care how long it takes me. Once I get those 2 items done, though, I'll be raiding into somebody else trying to meet that same challenge. And then tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, sharp. You have to show up on time. A lot of people miss this. They come in too late and then they're really sad that they miss it. But on Tuesdays, I'm doing one and done. I sell one big ticket item for $4 shipping and $1 start bid. But you have to come on time or you're going to miss it. Okay. Now, see, that's me using my show to promote my shows. So if you want to promote your shows, you should be going live. You should be going live and telling people when your next show is, okay? Because guess who you're telling? You're telling the people that already like you, they already buy from you, they already think you're cool. They're the ones that are most likely going to bookmark and show up at those shows, right? You tell a random room of strangers, hey, I'm selling vintage glass. You might get 1 or 2 bookmarks, and maybe if you're going to win the lottery, they're going to actually show up at your show, right? The Virgo Collective is doing $4 an upstart vintage decor. I'm looking for what Zoe's mod said. I missed it. I love discounts _com says, I have gotten 6 followers from Liz's show today just from being part of the conversation. Did you guys see that? I love discounts. I got 6 followers, not from asking to promote and not from promoting their show, but just from being in a chat and being helpful and talking and being funny. Like, who here has followed Bozo just because he goes into random rooms and tells jokes, right? D Archivist just unfollowed 7, keeping the universe balanced as always. Thanks, D. Okay, scrolling through, just making sure I didn't miss any questions. Zoe's T-Mod, you don't have a show, but you're here to promote Zoe's Treasures. So you got to tell us what Zoe's Treasures is doing. That's why you'll notice in my show notes, like, yes, it's Zoe's T-Mod is the reason I have a YouTube channel, but Zoe's T-Mod doesn't sell. So it's like, yeah, I give you credit, but that doesn't do anything monetarily for you. So I always shout out Zoe's Treasures because that's where the money's going to be made, right? Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about, improvement. I have a question for you. How much time do you spend every week working on improving your whatnot selling? And if you've never thought about it, put 0. But I want you guys to tell me, how much time do you conscientiously think about ways to improve your selling on whatnot? A lot, every day, all day. The serial hobbyist is like -1,000. A little bit. Michi says after your Monday shows. Fabric and Find 6 hours a day. Zoe's Treasures 10 hours or more. Dang, I thought I was good. You guys are all putting me to shame. Confident Beauty says a lot, but not enough. Sweet Rosebud says lots. Melon Stella Card says not enough. Constant 14 hours or more. Okay, now, how much time do you spend putting those improvements into action? So don't tell me if you think about it now. Tell me, how much time do you spend every week putting those improvements into action? This is every week. So 2 to 3 hours a week easily, our vintage journey. Like, it's one thing to sit and think about it, right? It's another thing to actually do it. Michi says 2 hours. Melon Stella says an hour, if that. Lori Antiques does lots. Hold on. I'm going to do something here. Oh, Lori's Antiques. So you're super new. So yeah, especially when you're new, there's so much room to be changing things. Reselling everything. Let's talk about these improvements. So, let's talk. Well, first, I'm going to tell you about my improvements. I'm even going to take you guys on a little field trip today to show you some of my improvements. But let's talk about what some of these improvements could be. Cleaning a space, making it so that you have more room to do your selling, making sure that you have a space set up that makes selling easy. If you're still stuck in the rut of, if I go live, I have to set up a show and then I have to take down the show because my family needs that space, that's going to prevent you. Who here has canceled a show simply because it was going to be too much work to set the show back up again? If you get caught in that rut of takedown setup, takedown setup, takedown setup, you're going to prevent yourself from going live. It is so much easier to go live when you click a couple buttons and your lights turn on and you set your phone in the stand that's already in the position that you know it needs to be in. Heck no, never take down a show. At worst, move it. Yeah. So the more you have set up and ready to go, the easier it is to go live. And a lot of people rearrange their shows or cancel their shows simply because they don't have the time to set up, take down, right? You never cancel a show. That's very smart, Athena. So cleaning a space, changing your setup. Who here spends time rewatching their lives? We hate to do it, but you should be rewatching your lives at least once a month. If not once a week, you should be rewatching a live once a month. How much time do you spend strategizing? Not just thinking, what can I do to improve? Maybe if I did this, but actually saying, this show, my goal is going to be get new followers, which means everything I do is not for how much money can I get per item, but my actions are going to be based on how can I get people that have never bought from me before to buy from me, and setting up your show to match those goals. Do you work on your images? Have you fixed your logo? Have you fixed your show photos? Have you worked on your titles, your tags, your categories, your listings? Have you improved your camera setup, your lighting, how you display your items? You guys know listen, I'm not good at these things, but I am working on them. You rewatch all the time. Zoe's mod has to rewatch more than their own show. They have to rewatch everyone they're helping. I bet you learn a lot from that too, Noelle. How much time do you spend improving your sourcing, deleting your inventory? How much time have you spent getting rid of inventory that is holding you back? Stuff that is broken, stuff that nobody wants over multiple shows, stuff that is not getting you the average order value that your goal is to reach, right? Are you working on doing bundle shows so that you can move that inventory? Are you getting stuff sold and meeting your goals? Are you improving your appearance? Are you working on your camera angles, your lighting, your clothing, your jewelry, your makeup, how you do your hair? Thank you very much, The Archivist. Your hygiene. Are you focusing on cleaning those nails when you can? Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I'm like, this is what you're getting today. Look. My nails are always a hot mess. But are you doing what you can to improve those things? Are you making sure that you have a drink? The Archivist is like, make sure you take a drink. Share your shows. My nails are hopeless too, Shiwu. So I work on other things. Are my teeth clean? Is my language clean? Is my clothing clean? Right? Work on that kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to talk about what I've been working on improving. What was way too fast? Reselling everything says appearance. I've considered getting Botox and a BBL. As a man, I'm hoping this will push me over the top. Do it. Athena says, I'm trying to make my description and titles uniform. Oh, interesting. Oh, my sip was way too fast. I figure whenever I say share your shows, I take into account the time it takes to type it out. So yeah, I take a sip, but I'm giving you See, de-archivist took a while. It takes a while to type that stuff out. By the way, do you have an anchor show that you do all the time? If you do, have you pinned? Listen, if you have an anchor show, a show that you do regularly, I want you to type it out in the chat right now. I want you to use emojis at the beginning and at the end, your favorite emojis that exemplify you as a seller. Mine is the mushroom and lizard. You might have the same as someone else. It doesn't matter. Emoji, time and date, time zone, and a grabber. Like what's actually going to get people in there? Hot mess, jokes, funny, whatever it's going to get people in. There we go. Melinda's time capsule has a perfect example. Everybody look at Melinda's time capsule. That's a perfect promotion in the chat. Write it down here, copy it, and pin it. Do you guys know how to pin a copy to your clipboard? Do you guys know how to do that? Because here's the thing. I can go and I can tap on my chat. You guys can see this in real time. I click on my clipboard. I scroll all the way down and I see, oh, I took it off. But here, nope, that's not going to work. I just ruined it. I tried to show you guys, like, I am set. I can totally do this. Remove it. I used to have it pinned. I don't have it pinned anymore. I need to fix that. Copy it, pin it. Now that it's pinned, you can just go in. Like I can click my clipboard. I can scroll all the way down and I can put that in the chat super, super fast. I did not have to find my emojis and tap, 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 tap. You should have things pinned on your clipboard so that when someone says, share your shows, while everybody else is typing out their shows, you're there. You're there, right there. So if you've done what I just told you to, if you've written it, if you've copied it, and if you've pinned it, I now want you to practice using that. You can only share a show if you're sharing it from a pin. Everybody share your pinned promote. De-archivist pinned, can I promote? There's I love discounts. See? They even have the question mark to make it yellow. Perfect. Shiwu, there's always homework. So the serial hobbyist, in the chat, write out your perfect show promote. If you have a show that you do regularly, like mine is Monday morning. Every Monday morning, I'm going to do a chat show. So have your emojis, have the title of the show, the time and the time zone, and then a grabber. What's going to make them want to come? Moonies, you did it from a pin, right? So write it in the chat, but don't send it yet. Highlight it before you send it. Highlight it. And then copy it. Then go into your clipboard. Your phone should have a little symbol of a clipboard. You're going to go into your clipboard, find that one that you just copied, tap on it, and then there should be a thumbtack symbol somewhere on your screen. Tap the thumbtack, that's going to pin it. And that means that down at the bottom of all your clipboard stuff, that's going to stay there. So when someone says, share your shows right now, you can jump in, tap your clipboard, scroll to the bottom, and tap that and put it into the chat real fast. So while everybody's typing, you've already shared yours. And people are reading yours while the chat is slow. Because once everybody types theirs out, the chat starts moving really fast and nobody sees everything. Or just use a keyboard shortcut. Exactly. Especially if you're on your computer. Okay, so there's your tip for the day. You should have, if you have a regular show that you do all the time, you should have that pinned so that when people do invite you to share your shows, you can get in there real quick. And you can also time it so that you're the last one to get yours in, because that one will also stay the longest. FYI. Okay. So what am I doing to improve? I've got a lot of things I'm working on. Listen, I wish I spent that much time focusing on improving. I'm kind of lazy. If you guys don't know that about me yet, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Liz from What Liz Likes. I sell out of my janky basement. It's taken me 4 years to finally get some shelves set up to display my stuff. They're still kind of janky. I'm lazy. I am the laziest lazy, ever lazed. Okay, really, honestly, truly. So I'm very slow at improvements, but they are very important. I notice that every time I work on improving, my average order value goes up, my followers go up, my buyers go up, the items that I sell goes up, my sourcing improves. When you put those, look at Zoe's Treasures. I mean, Zoe's Treasures is a perfect example of someone who is constantly working on improving, and you can see those improvements in their money on their sales. When's your next soap show and you're not lazy? Oh, thank you. My soap is in the buy it now right now. Coastal Peacock. Check out the buy it now. I've got all my soap in there right now. So let's look at some of my improvements. We're going to let me unplug my charger and we're going to take you off and we're going to take a look at some things. Okay. Let's switch you around. Let me move so I can give you the full scope. So once upon a time, this area here in January, if you guys remember, in January, these tables were turned this way. I had 3 tables going across. Thank you, Coastal Peacock, for purchasing soap. I appreciate you. These tables went this way. They were stacked 3 boxes high at least, 2 boxes high underneath, and then there were boxes all around this edge and all around that edge, and it was full of inventory. And we spent all of this year selling everything. So now I've been able to rearrange, and this is my current setup. There's my laptop back there. This is my new shipping station. My shipping used to happen over in this mess. And every time I was shipping, I would have to go back and forth from there to there because my laptop was over there and back again and back again. Are you guys getting seasick? You should, because this is what I was doing every day. And my boxes were stored back there, and my bubble wrap was in that room. Very, very inefficient. So I have started purchasing boxes and purchasing my packing paper. I'm still thinking about a bubble wrap machine. Haven't fully decided on that one yet. Then I made this my selling area. Now, you guys know I mostly sell live shopping now, but when I do sell from my house, it's going to be from those shelves. I'm going to keep, this is why I did my chat show from there instead of right here, which is normally where I do it, because I don't want to move my lights anymore. I'm sick of moving my lights. I'm sick of moving my phone stands. I'm sick of moving my cords. So ideally, all the shows in my home will be done from there. Then everything I sell goes on this table so that when I ship, it's just right next to it instantly. I don't need to move items, and that's going to reduce breakage, right? If you can ship where you're selling from and you just instantly put it in a box, the less you have to move items, the less they will break. So those are my improvements. And I now have a photo booth right there. My photo booth used to be over there, but now my photo booth is right there. So I can take pictures and then instantly put stuff on the shelves. Nice little setup, right? Now, some of you are looking at this and thinking, I can already see 20 improvements you can make to that. And some of you are thinking, I set this up on the first day. Listen. When I first started selling on Whatnot, I had moved my business to a storage unit, and then that storage unit was too small. So I moved to another storage unit, and then that storage unit got too expensive. So I moved everything into here. For the past 4 years, I have been going on survival mode. 10/10 don't recommend. The piece I have now in selling is night and day compared to where I was just January of this year, trying to sell in whatever space I could create in the giant hoard. Okay. So improvements that I've made, are all of that. Improvements I've made in how I'm selling. I have swapped. I've totally changed. Beginning of this year, it was dollar starts, move the inventory. That goal was reached. Now we're shifting to a different goal, which is to sell less and make more so that I can enjoy my selling again. I did not enjoy. 2026 was very profitable for me. I made a lot of money. I sold a lot of items, and I hated it. It got to the point where I was having nightmares about Whatnot. I was packing in my I would go to sleep after a full day packing. I would dream about packing, and then I would wake up and have to pack more. And it got to the point where, like, I detested selling on Whatnot. Did I still do it? Yes, I showed up every day, but I really was not happy anymore. This was no longer something that I enjoyed doing. I did it because I needed to do it. Next, we need to get you labels. Zoe's Mod, if I don't think I'll ever do the labels unless I have a helper. The screenshots work so good for me as a one-person seller. If I ever had a helper, I would do the labels. But to me, especially because I'm live selling, like with the live shopping, I couldn't bring a label maker with me even. Do you ever delete your screenshots that you take during your shows? Yes. So when I'm packing orders, for those of you that don't know, when I sell something, I use screenshots. So if you purchase this from me, like D buys this from me for $25. I say, thank you so much, D. This one's coming home for you. And then I put it in the screen and I say screenshot and I put my fingers up and I squeeze the buttons and I take a screenshot. And that shows me the items, the person who bought it, how much they paid for it. And if there's any condition issues, I usually will turn it and have the chip facing the screen so that it's like I can send that to the buyer if they didn't remember it. That's happened. That's happened, and I've been able to send those screenshots to the buyer and say, "No, this is what it looked like when you purchased it." Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, then when it comes time to pack the orders, like all of these, let me show you here. Whoops, no, wrong button. So all these items have sold. Some of these were pre-listed, right? But a lot of them were not. A lot of them are screenshot items. Like these little dogs are screenshot items. That brush is a screenshot. That's a screenshot. So then when I go to do my orders, I pull it up. I pull up my phone and I go to the photos. Hold on, let me readjust that. That's not quite right. I open up my photos. I go to the first one, and let's say it's Millicent's. Millicent's bought something from me. I pull up her photo. I go to my computer and I look at how many items she purchased. Millicent's, I'll tell you when and why I delete. So Millicent's has an item on my photos in my screenshots, and then I go to the computer. It says she bought 3 items from me. So, and it can show me if they were pre-listed or if they were screenshot ones. So then I scroll through till I get all 3 items for Millicent's, and I set those aside. As I get each item, I delete it. Here's the thing. Your trash holds on to those photos for 30 to 90 days, however you have your phone set up. Mine is set to hold on to them for 90 days. So I delete it, but it's still there for 90 days. And after 90 days, they can't ask for a return anyway. So I don't need to worry about return issues on Whatnot because they're still there. And I have pulled them up from my trash to deal with customer service issues where someone was like, hey, I got this and it didn't come with a spoon. And I was like, yeah, it didn't come with a spoon when I sold it to you. Here's the picture. And my photos also show the timestamps. So then it's easy for me to go to the video receipts and pull up the video timestamp. And I can say, watch the video from here to here. You'll see there was no spoon with it. I didn't sell it that way. So that's how you bought it. So I delete as I grab each item, but I don't delete the last one so that I know whose order I'm working on because my brain does not remember things. And then as soon as I print their shipping label, I delete the last photo and then I scroll back to the very beginning of all the screenshots and start on that next person's order. That's how I do it. It works brilliantly for me as a one person seller. Why not use Whatnot video receipts only? Because it's way too much time. I can swipe in my photos to find each order. To do video receipts, I have to go to my computer. I have to click the person's name. I have to click the order, and then I have to click the order number, and then I have to scroll down to video receipts. I have to wait 2 seconds because it takes a second to load it. And then I have to click video receipt. And video receipts sometimes they glitch. If there's a payment failure, it will not collect that time. It will collect when the payment goes through, and you're on somebody else's item completely. Also, one time my video receipts were all black. I could hear, but I couldn't see. So video receipts never depend on them, and they just take way too much time. For me, the screenshots, super easy, super fast. It works for me. I'm not saying that that's how you should do it, but it works for me. Okay. So, one time we had a Star Wars guy show on. Oh, I remember that, D. Some people were actually getting other sellers' lives in their video receipts. It was insanity. Absolute insanity. You tagged me and sent me tons of new followers. Starlight Evergreen, well, you deserve those followers. I was telling everybody about how you use the hooks under your shelves to show your Christmas ornaments during the last Christmas show I caught of yours. Genius. So I was telling everybody to go learn from you. I'm stealing that idea. Beautifully genius. Welcome in, Starlight Evergreen. Um, yes, if any of you like the labeling system that Whatnot has, Zoe's Team Mod has like an even better system, I guess. So go check them out. Well, thank you for giving us something to learn from. I'll say just wait, along with the label and screenshot saved to the auction. Oh, sorry, that's for someone else. Okay. So, what are things that I'm going to be working on? And I would love your opinions, guys. I actually want to ask you, for those of you that watch me, I want to know if you could just reach out and say, oh, I wish I could tell Liz this, but I don't want to offend her. Please tell me in a private message. My moderators, like, I love them so much because they will give me feedback after a show and they'll be like, hey, you should try this, or hey, maybe try this. I would love to know what you guys think. Here's what I'm trying to focus on. If you can think of anything else that I can improve, please tell me. I want to stop touching my phone. When I'm selling in my house, I want to stop having to do this. See how it bounces around when I touch it? I try so hard not to bounce it around. But now that I have created more space, I want to set up my laptop so that it's close by and learn. I have always failed at using two devices when selling. I'm horrible at it. See, I'm still touching my phone today. I haven't made this improvement yet. It's for this week. My moderators are the Millicents, you're right. Sabaloo and Lala Girl 2, especially. They are like the most amazing moderators. And I do not give back to them enough, but they are amazing. You use a second phone as a keyboard. See, I need to, like, I'm looking into purchasing an iPad possibly. We'll see, but that's a goal, is to not have to touch my phone. I want to fix my lighting. Ever since I got this new phone, I have not been I loved my lighting with my old phone. My old phone lit me up perfectly. This new phone, the lighting is not my best friend. So, I need to figure out how I want my lighting. I don't like this shadow. This shadow should not be here. So, I need to add another light over here. Like, I want to fix my lighting. I also want to start using a microphone because you guys know I have issues when I get close or move back. Sometimes it affects my audio. So I need to get a Bluetooth. I need to get a microphone that doesn't need a dingle dongle thingy. Oh, I don't have issues with my audio anymore? Oh, good. Jack, I go vintage. Mirrors would work, but I think that I might break them. I'm kind of like a bull in a china shop. Organizer Queen says, I just bought a refurbished iPad for a great deal. Trying it out later. Oh, I hope it works. Let me know. Okay, so the new audio must be from the new phone. So this new phone has better audio. The old phone had bad audio because I dropped it in several things that I shouldn't have dropped it in. But the lighting was the exchange for the good audio. But microphone for other situations too. Like, I have clothing I want to sell, and I feel like you need a microphone if you're selling clothing. For my live shopping, I finally have gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, this is going to work. My data shows that this is successful for me. Live shopping is going to stay. If it's going to stay, I need to get a chest holder with a magnetic attachment. I can't find a chest holder with a gimbal, which is what I really wanted. So I'm still looking for that. But I need one with a magnetic release because there are times where I have to take my phone off quickly. So I need a chest holder, preferably with a gimbal, but definitely with a magnetic attachment. I need to figure out how to handle raids during live shopping. I can handle a raid no problem during a regular show. Like today, I can handle your raid. Raid me, I'm ready. But I realized during my live shopping, it's very hard to handle raids the way I want to. So I've got to think about that and come up with a way to do justice to the raid, but also respect the people around me while I'm live shopping. Um, when I'm live shopping, I often go from one estate sale to another. I need to start eating in between those. Like I end my show, and then I drive to the next one and I restart my show so the shipping will bundle. I need to eat and drink while I'm in the car because I am noticing I'm getting very low energy the second time I go live. And then this is probably not going to happen, but I need a helper. I need to get someone to go to the estate sales with me to take care of the items so that I don't have to pause in between sales in order to stick an item in my bag or make sure an item doesn't break or find a worker to take the item there. I just hard close it, Jackie. So I just open up all my apps. Like I click the button down below that puts all the apps up and I just swipe it out. So I hard close the app. And then you can restart it. Okay, I'm going to scroll up and see, did anyone give me any advice? Phone users don't need mics unless you're walking 10 to 25 feet away. Well, with clothing, you walk pretty far away so you can show the whole body thing. Athena says, I like the bone conduction headphones with a mic that you can move down. Yes, I would definitely love that. Although I wonder how those would work with hearing aids. I usually turn my hearing aids on when I'm selling so that I can hear what my voice actually sounds like. Otherwise, I yell. So I have to figure something out that works with hearing aids. You guys didn't give me any advice. I need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong. You guys are all too nice. Okay, that's it for improvements. So we've talked about improvements. Millicent says having several text replacements would give you a buffer. Ooh, Millicent, I'm screenshotting that. I love that idea. I love that idea. Or having something ready for moderators to do as well. Modern Roots and Russ is one of the people that helped me, has given me the most help for live shopping. So if you guys have watched my live shopping and you're interested in doing the same thing, watch me, of course, but watch Modern Roots and Russ because I really like their techniques. Modern Roots and Russ says, me having someone with me really helped me so much, and a packer. I would love to get a packer. I tried to pay my son $20 an hour to go with me to the estate sale. He wouldn't do it. Rude. My family is like not interested at all in this business. It's just me, not they. Wait, hold on. It's just me, not they. Wait, Modern Roots and Russ, I thought you paid a packer, and don't you have Angel go with you when you go live shopping? Sweet Rosebud, I don't expect my family to. I am shocked that they won't even do it for money. He pulls the wagon, but at least he's got the wagon. Like, I would love, like, I just want like I told my son, I'm like, listen, you could play video games. The only thing you have to do is follow me so that when I hand you something, you take it to the hold table. Cause I do estate sales, not flea markets. So it has to go somewhere. I'm like, that's all you have to do. He's like, nope. Oh, he loses stuff? Modern Roots and Russ. With a wagon? How do you lose stuff with a wagon? Auntie to you. See, I want to find someone on here that wants to do it with me. I do not flipping know. You need to fire him. On purpose, that's incompetence by design. Oh, I doubt it. I doubt they're doing that. But yeah, I want to know how he loses stuff with a wagon. Unless he's like me, I could see myself doing that. Sweet Rosebud says, estate sales can be cutthroat. I put my Kewpie by the cashier. Another person swiped it from me. Sweet Rosebud, that's a reality. That can happen. Our estate sales here. So I don't have, there's like 2 flea markets here. They're not that great. Jackie, I'm in South Carolina. I'm in Fort Mill, South Carolina. How close are you to me? I've met so many whatnotters. I need to start asking them. Every time I'm at an estate sale, I meet another local whatnotter. I need to start asking them, like, You want to be my yard sale buddy, my estate sale buddy? Jackie, message me. Message me. Athena says, I sent you a message of the bone conductor headphones that my mom who uses hearing aid. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, the hearing aids are there. It's an issue, but if they work with them, I would love that. Okay, so that's improvements I'm trying to do. Modern Roots and Rest. I need to know what do. You have a gimbal on your chest phone holder? Please message me what you use to hold your phone when you're going live. Okay, now we're going to switch gears because I have to end this show really soon. Okay. Last thing on our notes. When it's okay to offend people. Everybody share your shows. I'm going to take a drink and then we're going to talk about the last topic of the day, when it's okay to offend people. Wait. Zoe's mod, no, please don't go, Liz. What are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere. I'm drinking. I don't know. I love discounts. Share your shows, though, while I take a drink, and then we're going to talk about how and when to offend people. The problem is I love discounts. You and Zoe's Treasures and Zoe's Mod are so... You just have to accept that. Ooh, Athena, you guys, if you don't like AI, go check out Athena. They're going to offend all the AI users. That's a tag. That's how you get people to pay attention to your shows. Come to my show and I'm going to offend you. People will show up. They are the best. I love discounts. Millicent says, I've told everyone you're having Michelob Ultra boobs. Wait, what, Millicent? You've told, Millicent has been telling everyone I'm drinking a beer. Yes, I am drinking a beer. Church Girl is drinking a beer, you guys. Millicent, you are of the devil. You are evil, as in the fruits of the devil. It is a family show 9 times. I am not drinking beer and you know it. Boobs is seriously the worst I do on here. I have said shut up a couple of times, though. Were you guys here for that? You guys are all such a bad influence on me. I started saying shut up. Let's see. Sweet Rosebud says, I watched a seller that was yelling at people in her own show. She was frustrated. People weren't buying. But did you stay to watch the hot train wreck? If so, she did something right. Sometimes you think you're watching somebody crash out and you're really just watching someone's technique at keeping viewers in the room. Sometimes it's a real crash out, but sometimes that's on purpose. Okay. Let's talk about it. When is it okay to offend people? Oh, Millicent, somebody told me that, but I don't know what it is and I don't want to know because BBC will always and forever be the British Broadcasting Company. When they're being ignorant or racist, game on. Oh, okay, here we go. When it's okay to offend people. Let's just start with, you cannot make everyone happy all the time. Listen, in chat shows, especially, or just in conversation on whatnot, who here has heard somebody say, I hate when sellers do A, B, C, D, and you're like, oh, that's me. And the person who just said that watches me all the time. I can't even make myself type out what it means for Liz. Yeah, please don't. I love discounts. I've been told several times, I think my brain chooses not to remember it because it's so bad. I don't want to know. I've been told. I've purposefully forgotten. My sweet little innocent brain was like, rejected. I don't need to know. Mel, we just said I don't want to know. Put emojis in the chat. We need to move the red chat. Move it. Emojis alert. There we go. Thank you. Not that I have a problem with that. I just don't want to read it. I don't want to read it no matter what it looks like. Okay. You could do BWC. I don't want to read it. All right. Now that we're trying to adult again, I love discounts. Listen, I love D and BBC. You're the one that has to interpret it. BBC to me is the British Broadcasting Company. It's Pride and Prejudice, okay? It's BBC is totally clean for me. I love D. I love D as I love discounts. I can say that all day long. I would wear an I love D shirt. Listen, because that's open to interpretation. I am all for ambiguity, okay? You give me a chance to use ambiguity in anything you say or do, I'm going to run with it and make it the way that I like it. Groovy by the Sea, thank you so much for purchasing soap. So, yes, I appreciate, thank you so, so much. I appreciate ambiguity. Yeg picker, I totally would. They just need to give one to me. They haven't given me one yet. Groovy, thank you for purchasing a loofah too. I have to remove the children from the room. Why? Your children don't like discounts 9 times? Because I love D as I love discounts. And I love discounts all day long. Okay? All right. When it's okay to offend people. Listen, let's start with you cannot make everybody happy. And what's more is that there are people who have very strong opinions about things that are willing to overlook those things if they like you. I would not stay 10 seconds in a room with a racist, not without making a scene. Okay, I wouldn't. I couldn't. Did I hang out with my grandpa who used racial slurs like they were jokes? Yes, I did. I also knew the man and I knew he wasn't actually racist. I saw him in action. He was a man from a different time period where that kind of language was very acceptable. Just like even now, some of our Gen X coworkers on this app still struggle knowing that certain words that we were okay saying are no longer okay because we have more exposure, more intelligence, more information. And we've learned that a lot of the things that we grew up thinking were totally fine to say are not. So we have grace for some of those, right? Because you know the person, you know their heart. Some of you have sat in a show where somebody said, "You're stealing from me," or "That was way too low of a bid," or "Wake up, everybody," because you liked the seller and you knew that they weren't actually yelling at you. They were just doing their job and trying to get people to bid more like they're supposed to, right? So you cannot make everybody happy. The people that like you and understand you will put up with things that they don't like because they love you and understand you. So you just need to let go. Don't get offended. Like if I tell you right now, I don't think that you guys should sell anything that's the color pink. That doesn't mean that I really care if you sell the color pink. Well, that's a bad example. That's a bad example. Let me give you this example. I've said before, I don't think you guys should cuss when selling because you do lose some viewers. Now, I've had people tell me that the people that watch them for their cussing. See, there you go. You found your tribe. I personally give that opinion because I will leave shows after a certain number of cussing. It's just who I am. And I'm like, you know what? If you never cussed, I don't think I would ever miss it. I don't think other people would ever miss it too. I think they're there for the attitude you give when you cuss. Usually, when someone's cussing, it's because they're showing their chutzpah, their moxie, their attitude. So it's like, you know what? I think actually you could keep those viewers without the cussing just by keeping the attitude you usually take on when you're cussing, right? Now, then I go in people's shows and they cuss and they see me in there and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cuss." And I'm like, "You trust me. I know when to leave. I'm an adult. You do you. If you want me here, then yeah, watch your P's and Q's. But if you don't need, because I'm not even buying right now anyway, you don't need my money. So do what gets you sales. I'm a big girl. I will leave or come, right? I will leave or stay. Um, Lush, that's funny. Sorry, I was reading a red chat. Okay, I'm scrolling up. Eric D74 says, "I am in the process of becoming a seller on here, and you have touched base on a lot of stuff today. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. I hope you find value in it, because otherwise, I'm just running my big fat mouth." Eric D74 also says, a friend of mine on here got in trouble for selling a Dukes of Hazzard car. Don't understand that. Maybe because they thought it was racist. I don't know. Why would Dukes of Hazzard car be an issue? There was probably more to it than that. The flag, the rebel flag, Confederate flag. For a lot of people, Confederate flag is considered racist. I live in the South. The Confederate flag does not always mean racist. I personally think the Confederate flag means more anti-American, because to me, they were the ones that wanted to separate from America. So it's like, you actually, like, I see trucks, because I live in the South, so I see trucks waving the Confederate flag and the American flag, and I'm like, how do you have those both on the same truck? Because the whole point of the Confederate flag was, we don't like the American flag, we're breaking away from it, right? Anyway, I've also lived in Ireland, where the Civil War went a different way, and it's very interesting stuff. We're not going to talk about that. I'm just going to say that might be why. Yeah, there's things that I won't show on here. I'm very careful about what I show on here, even if it's not racist, in my viewpoint, because others will think it's racist. So you do have to be careful what you sell, what you show. Cherry red treasures. It is a racist symbol for a lot of people, but I'm in the South. And there are people of color that will wave the flag, and there are people of mixed blended marriages that will wave the flag. For them, it is not a racist symbol. For them, it is an anti-government control symbol. I have people that I know and love, and for them, they will die on the hill of, I do not wave this to be racist. Look at my life. Nothing in my life shows that I'm a racist. That you choose to make this a racist symbol. For me, it's something else. And I'm like, I don't wave it because I don't want to be seen as racist. There's a lot of flags I don't wave, though, okay? Because everybody interprets things different, and everybody sees things as different, okay? It's also the flag of the losing side that was anti-American. Yeah, anyway, I don't know why we're here. You get to choose how you see those symbols. I'm not going to put any labels on them. But as sellers, you do have to be careful what you show and what you sell, because certain platforms will have rules on those things, whether you agree with them or not. But if I see you with it, I'm going to see a racist. Lost Ledger, a lot of people do. Absolutely. If you wear an I Love D shirt, you get to interpret whether it means I love discounts or I love something else, right? Okay, back to when it's okay to offend people. I don't think it's okay to offend people with symbols that are seen as hateful or hurtful. I don't think that that's okay. I also think that everybody should be careful with that. That's not in my notes. That's not what we're talking about today. So we're going to set aside that. Whole conversation started because someone was confused about an item that they got in trouble for selling. We're going to segue back into regular offense, okay? Because those are bigger levels of offense. You don't have to say sorry, Eric. I just wanted to be clear with everyone why I was shifting gears. I'm not trying to avoid the topic. We talked about the topic. We've talked about the topic before. We will talk about the topic again. So racism, hate, symbols, it's why I don't cuss. To me, cussing is hate language, right? Like, when someone's abusing you verbally, there are words that they will always use. And I don't care if you don't mean them that way. When I hear them, I hear abuse, because every abuser I've ever known used those words every single time. So to me, words that you guys all think are totally fine, I find to be very, very offensive. But I also choose not to be offended, because logically I know you guys aren't using them that way, right? So it's kind of like, yes, it hurts me. I walk away from it and I don't watch it, because I know that's not where you're coming from. I know that there's something more to that, the use of those words for other people, not for me. So I walk away from it, right? You don't know who you're going to trigger, so be a good human. But here's the thing, Tober, even if you're the best human possible, We're gonna go ahead and stop talking about the flag in the chat just because I know that it's painful for people. So could we get emojis in the chat? Not to say you're wrong. DV, I don't want to say you did anything wrong by talking about it. We're just gonna put emojis in the chat so we can wipe the slate clean. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to not talk about cuss words. We're not going to talk about all those previous things. Thank you, everyone. So good. Okay. Especially love all the hearts. We're going to talk about basic offending. Okay. There's offending and then there's offending. We're just going to talk about basic offending. You can't make everybody happy all the time. You are going to hear people say, you shouldn't do this in a show. And then you're going to see people that do that and they make money. And you're going to hear people say, oh, you shouldn't behave this way in a show. And then you're going to see people behave that way and they're making money. So just know that you can't make everybody happy. There's some people that judge me for not cussing. They think it's too goody two shoes. It's self-righteous. It's judgmental. And I'm like, that's not my intention at all. So the things you choose to do in your shows, in your life, and with the people that you have interaction with, you're going to get judged no matter what you do or why you do it or how you do it. So just be okay with the fact that you can't make everyone happy all the time. See, we've already lost a bunch of viewers. All right. There are certain customers. Now, I want you to just pay attention to this. There are certain customers you don't need, okay? We want all the customers. We want to increase our chances of keeping people in a room. But you don't need everyone to be in your room. So I'm going to give an example. I was in a chat show and the topic came up of live shopping, which I do. You guys know that I have changed into live shopping. In a chat show that came up actually a couple different chat shows, and they mentioned my selling and in the chat shows. And so conversation was happening. In that conversation, some of the things that I do in my live shopping was brought up, and people in the chat were giving their opinions, which I totally appreciate. I love hearing how people perceive the things I'm doing. Now, none of these people were actually in my live shopping or seeing it in action. They were sharing it based on how it sounded to them in their heads, which is always a big difference, right? We just said sometimes people have strong opinions on things, but they overlook those if they like you enough, right? So I'm reading these chats. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, am I doing like the wrong thing? And I took a look at what I was selling and how I was selling and all my things that I was doing. And I was like, and then I suddenly realized one of them, they were like, oh, I would be thank you, Tober. Thank you so much. I was like, one of them said, I would be highly offended if this person, just for clarity and transparency, the topic was on showing the price tag of something. So I don't know if I have I might have an example. Yes, I do. Okay. So for instance, let's say I'm live shopping and I'm like, all right, there's the estate sale price tag. I didn't set that price. The estate sale set that price, right? Now, typically, I'm just going to double it. I'm going to say, all right, it says 4. I'm going to charge 8 for these. So if you want these gloves, you have to pay me 8. But sometimes that item is huge, right? So I might lift this up and I might say, okay, it says 4, but I'm going to charge 44. People are like, why are you charging 44? I'm like, sorry, it's the shipping, or it's just because I know I can get more money for this elsewhere, or I just want to give it the value it deserves. It doesn't matter what the reason is. As the seller, I'm choosing how much I'm willing to sell it to you for. And someone said, I would get very offended. I would get very offended if I saw what they were talking about was not showing the price. Like they weren't so offended by the upcharge. They were offended by knowing the upcharge. Like, I don't want to know how much you're charging extra. And someone said I would leave the show and be upset. I would get upset and leave the show if I knew how much money they were making on it. Lost Ledger says, I was surprised that you were showing prices in your live, but you explained it and it made sense. So that was the thing. I started to think, oh my gosh, like the trouble it would take me to not show the price. I think that for me would actually hurt more of my buyers because it would seem dishonest to try to hide something from them, and it would be very difficult for me to hide that while I'm live. Most estate sales in my area, the prices are on the items. I'm like, I can't be bothered. So I went through the process of thinking about it. I took it into account. I listened to the advice, and I was like, okay, so that might be losing me people and that might be offending people. And then I thought, but honestly, the buyers that I'm trying to attract during those live shopping, I'm trying to attract people who see the value in the item and see, like you said, Jack, I Go Vintage, that see the value in the service I'm providing and value the transparency and honesty that I am offering. So I'm like, actually, it would tick me off if that offended you that I was honest about my pricing. So in the end, the customer I would lose was the customer that I didn't want. Now, let's say it was a customer that said, "You shake your phone too much," or, I don't like it now that you're not doing dollar starts. Some of those I can quickly fix, and some of them I'm like, "Oh, well, you can come on Wednesdays. Wednesdays, I do dollar starts," right? Like, you can come for that. Interrogator says, "And sometimes it's the retail price, so you know you may be getting a savings." Not sure exactly what you mean by that. And sometimes it's the retail price, so you know you may be get oh, yeah. Like, so oftentimes when I'm live shopping too, I will tell people, like, "Listen, it's I'm gonna have to charge this, and I don't think it's worth it." Like, I will tell them, You're telling me you want this." Like, I had someone buy a stool from me the other day. The stool was, like, made by it looked like it was made by a kindergartner in the backyard. No quality whatsoever. And I told them, I was like, "I'm gonna have to charge you." They want $5. I'm charging you, like, 30 something because of shipping. I don't think this is worth it. And they're like, I want it anyway. I'm like, okay, I'll sell it to you. Like, if you really want it, I'm going to sell it to you. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's worth your money to pay this. Um, Cherry Red Treasure says, the only time I don't like is when I can see a Target clearance price and they're way up charging. Cherry, I've done that in my live shows. I've been like, look, it was $2 at Goodwill. I'm selling it for 7. You decide. Because sometimes you don't have time to remove the tag. It's like, listen, what I paid for it, what sometimes I lose money. Do you want sellers saying, look, I paid 50 for it and you paid $1 for it? Shame on you. Like, if you don't feel shame when you get a deal on something, the seller shouldn't feel shame when they make a profit on something, right? PT Grace, if you are a collector, you are willing to pay what you know the value to be. If you are a reseller, you may be more price conscious. Exactly. Simple economics. Same thing with shipping. If you're a reseller, you're trying to minimize your shipping costs as much as possible because that cuts into your profits. When you're a collector, the shipping only affects what you can pay to get it to you, right? Mel's Collectibles. You guys, everybody say hi to Mel's in the chat. Say hi to Mel's while I let you know that the lovely Mel's_collectibles has a show tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing hot picks and cool finds. They're doing a estate sale, home decor. It's a summer raid train. And then on the 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they're doing a this, that, and the kitchen sink raid train. So if you're interested in any of those, go check that out. Thank you so much, Mel's Collectibles. Okay, Jack I Go Vintage says, and welcome in Raiders. We're doing a chat show, so if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Jack I Go Vintage says, someone tried to set up in my antique store during business hours to sell. I said no. Like a whatnotter, Jack I Go Vintage? Are you saying that a whatnotter or a live seller tried, and you told them no? Was there a reason you told them no? I'm interested because I go up to estate sale sellers and I ask permission before I do it. I haven't always asked permission if it was like a farmer's market out in public or if it's Goodwill. I don't ask for permission at Goodwill. Do you know how much time it would take me to get like a manager to come out and talk to me? No, I'm going live, and if I get kicked out, I just know not to go there. But I've always found it interesting when people say no because it can increase your sales. Regular customers shopping and holding items from them. Oh, see, Jack I Go Vintage, when I ask for permission at the estate sales, they lay out their rules. They're like, yes, you can go live. You can't show and their rules are things that I always do anyway. They're like, you just can't hold on to item. Like you have to You can't hold an item that you're not going to sell. So like I don't even touch an item till someone requests it. I touch it to show the price and then I set it down, and I have had people snag something while someone was thinking. I was like, "Sorry, you have to be fast because I'm sharing the same shopping space as them. So it's not like I'm going to carry it around hoping that they decide to buy it and then when they don't put it back." Like I follow those rules, but as you can set that up as as a store, you could say, "Yes, you could go live, but here's my rules. You can't show faces, you can't be loud, you have to whisper, things like that." But that's up to you. The estate sellers here love it because I buy. I'm basically in the space of one person in their estate sales because they're always cramped on space because estate sales are in a house. So when I go in, I am technically bringing 30 people with me, but I'm only taking up the space of one person. So the estate sellers love it because I'm increasing their sales without taking up space. Millicent says Whatnot should be paying you to do what you're doing with the live shopping. A lot of kinks still need to be worked out and handled well. I don't think Whatnot should pay me any more than they should pay anyone else. I mean, Whatnot's giving me the opportunity to sell the way I'm selling. Miss DT, you started doing live estate sales and you love it. Congratulations. Oh, Jack I Go Vintage says I plan to do it myself, but after hours. Jack I Go Vintage, might I recommend doing Whatnot hours? Like allowing Whatnot sellers, because look at it this way, you can do it yourself, but let's say you have a Whatnot seller who has a big following and they actually have a crowd that wants what you have. You might be able to do Whatnot hours so you can, when you see a Whatnot seller, you can say, "Oh, sorry, we don't allow live selling during these hours, but come back Wednesdays from 7 to 9 and you'll have the store all to yourself." Miss DT says, "Yes, ma'am, and the estate sale company encourage it. They don't want to take anything out after the sales are done." Yes. Millicent says, "I just mean it's in their interest to have some of these things worked out well by someone who is interested in having them managed well." Honestly, Millicent, Whatnot works very well with live shopping. Like I can't think of anything that Whatnot could do for me to fix it. The only things that I can improve on for my live shopping is stuff that only I could do. Like I don't want Whatnot doesn't need to provide me with a harness. Honestly, their system works really, really well with live shopping. So I'm okay with it. Okay, so back to when it's okay to be offended. Focus on your goals. Make sure that your actions match your goals and not just what others want you to do. Everybody's going to have an opinion on how you should sell, what techniques you should use, what your shipping should be, what your start price should be. There's so many options to do on Whatnot. That's one of the things I love about Whatnot. There is no one single way to reach success on the app on Whatnot. So you can do it all different ways. Hold on, I have to cough. Pardon me, share your shows. Again, Millicent, I don't think there's anything Whatnot could do. Listen, I'm going to tell you a story about live shopping. The drama! We're going to talk about the cat pajama lady. If you guys were in my last estate sale, was anyone in my show with the cat, the lady that had the green pajamas with the cat on it? Tell me if you were in here when that happened, because there's more to the story. You can't make everyone happy. You just can't, okay? I agree. I'm sorry if it sounded critical of Whatnot. Oh, okay. Millicent, that's what I thought you were saying, was that Whatnot needed to pay me to help them figure out how to improve all that stuff. Oh, we're going to clutch our pearls. Let's clutch our pearls. Listen, let me just start this by saying I felt bad for the lady, okay? I have said one of the things that I take into consideration when I do live shopping, when I go, oh, you totally saw JJ Shopper throw down at a Goodwill? Drama. I missed it. You should have tagged me, Athena. So, one of the things I take into consideration when I'm live shopping is that I can be very annoying to the people around me. I do my best not to be. I try not to hold on to items. I try not to take up space. If I'm talking to my chat and I'm looking at something and somebody is waiting next to me, I tell them, come in, grab whatever you need. Do not wait on me. I'm doing my dumb little thing. Don't let that stop you. If you need me to move, tell me. Like I try to make sure that everybody around me knows I am not trying to take up space. I am not trying to be annoying. I'm just trying to shop for other people. So someone like in an estate sale I was doing, I had started, I think it was Friday, and a lady next to me was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm videoing what I'm seeing because there's people that can't go out to estate sales, and so I shop for them." And she was like, "Oh, that's really cool. That's so neat." Like they see that, "Oh, I'm doing a service for some people." Some people do not feel that way. Some people feel very annoyed. For the most part, I have had very pleasant experiences doing live shopping. But on Friday, here's what happened. Like, I've even pulled people, like, I've met new whatnot sellers while doing it. I had a whole conversation with a lady from New Jersey. My chat was like, wow, people are really chatty there. And I was like, yeah, like we were swapping stories and everything. Um, so anyway, I'm at this estate sale and somebody in my chat mentions the cat on the green, something about a cat and green. And I was like looking at the stuff in front of me and I'm looking at the wall. I'm like, I don't see a cat on green. And someone behind me says, very, and I didn't catch it at first because some of us have resting jerk face. Some of us have resting jerk voice. I didn't catch on to it fast enough. She said, they mean me. And I wish I would have caught the tone of her voice. So I turn around and I see she's holding a beautiful set of vintage pajamas, green, with an embroidered cat down the side. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. You found a good find. And so I moved my camera, not showing her, not even showing her feet. I just showed the pajamas. And I said, look, that's what they're talking about. You got a really good grab there. This lady lit into me. Were you there, Fragmented Artist? Yeah, it was at that one that had the art on the walls. This lady lit into me. She's like, "Excuse me, I do not appreciate being filmed." And I instantly moved my camera and I said, "I'm very, very sorry. I promise I haven't shown you on camera." And then she stiffened up. She's like, "I just don't want to be shown on whatnot." And I said, "I can leave the room if you would like me to." Because listen, I get it. I totally understand. I don't expect other people to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't. I can see it being invasive. I can see people being worried. Listen, there are so many people that are mocked. Like people of Walmart, I that site is so offensive to me. Like you're going into a store and you are filming people who did not agree to be filmed and then you are posting it online so that people can mock them. Not a fan. Not a fan of that, right? So, I'm aware that that can be a concerning issue. I have anxiety. I might feel anxious if someone was filming around me and I didn't know their intents and purposes. So, I said, "I can leave the room if you need me to." She says, "No, you don't need to leave the room. I just don't appreciate being filmed." And I said, "I promise you haven't been, and I promise you won't be." And then she promptly left the room. And then in the phone, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she was so mad at me, guys." Like, because I knew you guys were hearing what was going on. So I carried about my day, and then I tried to be extra careful around anyone else there. I go down. Now, this is an estate sale that I've had permission from. The estate sale owners are also whatnot sellers. They are very friendly to whatnot. I go down. So after I ended my show, no one saw this on camera because I ended my show and then I went to go pay for my items. And two of the estate sale workers brought her up. They were like, "Oh my gosh, you got reported hard today." And but here's the thing. Here's the thing. This woman that got offended, she's young, she's beautiful. She had nothing to be embarrassed by. The things that, like, if I had even shown her on camera, there was no reason for her to be embarrassed, right? The only thing I could think was this woman has been through something or been hurt in some way because the things she was telling the workers, her story, like one of the workers was like, "Yeah, I ignored her as soon as her story started changing." She started like adding things to it and then changing things. And then the worker was like, "Yeah, and then she came out and told me that you were trying to take the pajamas from her." Like, you guys that saw it, you know, I did not try to take the pajamas. I didn't touch. I never said they were for sale. I never gave a start bid on them. Like, I gave no indication that I was taking her pajamas. But she went and told a worker that I was trying to steal the pajamas that she had in her hands all this stuff. And so all I could think was, I feel bad that I caused her that stress and anxiety. Kelly. No, no. I don't feel that. I sorry, I'm reading a red chat. I don't feel that way about it because in my opinion, anyone that comes off that strong from the tiny interaction we had, something else was going on in this woman's life and I had nothing to do with it. Okay? Something else. I've met people, listen, I've been there myself. I have been in a situation where it was all internal, and I took it out on someone next to me. So, my heart was just hurt for her, thinking something must not be going right in her life to feel that strongly and that hurt by something that was just not well, even Karen's though, Kelly. I think a lot of I'm reading a red chat. Even a lot of Karen's there's other stuff going on in their lives. There's mental imbalance that isn't properly diagnosed or treated. There's abuse that they are suffering silently with. Like Karens are often created, okay? There's some that aren't. There's some that just choose to be jerks. But there are a lot of people out there that are hurt and hurt people hurt. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. Yeah, sweet Rosebud. I think she was mad the first moment she heard my voice. Also, there's people that talk about us and give a bad listen, there's people out there blaming resellers for Goodwill's prices. It's not the reseller's fault. Goodwill chose to become a reseller. Goodwill created an online boutique. I took you guys to one of Goodwill's boutiques in their shop. You go into a Goodwill, inside the Goodwill was a second store that had doors where they put the good stuff so that they could show all the poor people buying the regular Goodwill stuff had to look through the windows at the rich Goodwill shoppers that could afford the boutique stuff. Like, I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with the greed of Goodwill. Okay? Good and hats off to them if they're making money doing it. I thought it was trashy. I thought it was very, very I took you guys in, didn't like it at all. Did not like it at all. But there's people that blame us. And so that word travels around and everybody's blaming the resellers for Goodwill's greed. And I don't even want to call it Goodwill's greed. They're just a business. They're just profiting, okay? Not for profit, but profiting, right? Every nonprofit profits. Otherwise, they wouldn't stay in existence. So, Goodwill is getting their profit. It is not my fault that Goodwill decided to price something at $60, okay? Because trust me, as soon as they priced it that way, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. I'll call it Goodwill greed if you don't. Go ahead, sweet Rosebud. So, when it comes to offending people, even if you are the sweetest, nicest, loveliest, most accepting person, even if you wave all the good flags and not the bad flags, even if you wear the t-shirts that say love everyone, somebody's going to think you mean something by that, right? There's no way that you cannot offend everyone. So the point is, when you start hearing people say they don't like the way you sell, if they didn't say your name, they don't mean you. If they don't like the stuff you sell, like they're like, I hate when people sell stuff that's chipped or broken. And you're like, oh, I sell chipped or broken and I sell it very well. Don't get offended. Don't get hurt by them. They didn't mean you. If someone doesn't put your name to it, it does not belong to you. And it's okay. I've learned it's okay for people to not like me, to not like my items, to not like my prices, to not like the way that I'm selling. So when is it okay to offend back? When you want to. I mean, honestly, if you just want everyone to have a bad day cuz you're having a bad day, go we know there's people. Listen, I work customer service. There are people that specifically want you to hurt so they don't feel alone. We've all met them. When I was in customer service, like face-to-face customer service, and I still would do this if it was in the chat too much. At a counter, when someone came at me right away, like I didn't make a mistake. It wasn't because I did something wrong. They just came at me, like chucked their money on the table or yelled at me, right? The way that I respond to them is, "Are you okay?" That always throws them off their game because they're like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I just don't think you would have behaved that way normally. I'm assuming something is wrong, and I hope you're okay. Whatever's troubling you right now, whatever's giving you a bad day, I hope that it goes away." The change, either they walk away embarrassed or they go yell at a manager, but they leave me alone. Like they don't want to face that because the reason they're being angry, or sometimes they just start crying. I had one lady, she came up, this was at Walmart. I was a cashier long time ago. She came up, she was so rude to me, ignored me, like when I said something to her, and I said, are you okay? And then she said, "No, I just found out that my mom has cancer and she's not going to live." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, can I come around and hug you?" She let me. I came out, hugged her. She started crying. I said, "I lost my dad to cancer." Like we had this, and then by the time she left, she was like holding my hand and like pulling away from me, and she's like, "Thank you so much." Like, so I know hurt people hurt people. So generally I try not to hurt back. Now, when do I when do I choose to offend people? To defend someone. I usually don't need to do that for myself. I'm strong enough. I know how to like, but if you're coming at me and like a simple "are you okay" doesn't work, then I just refuse to serve you. I had that happen. I was working at the pharmacy at Walmart and someone came up with a t-shirt that offended me, and I just went to my boss. I said, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to ring them up or deny them service. I will not stand and serve someone who's wearing a message, whether they're aware that they even put that shirt on or not. They might not even mean to give me that message, but I refuse service to people that I find offensive. So there's people on here, I block them. I don't care if it offends them. If I don't want to deal with that, I remove it, right? But as far as giving offense, I try my best not to give offense because I don't think the solution for hurt people hurting people is to hurt them more. Because I think the more you hurt them, the more they will hurt those around them. So typically, I try to find a way to de escalate a situation, to bring humanity back into the conversation. But if I want to hurt you, then I just hurt you. I've done that. Idaho Jim, hello, how are you? No, there have been people that I have chosen to hurt, and I also accept the consequences when I do that. But yeah, there was someone just recently that I lashed out to on purpose, and I accepted the consequences of it. Blasian Bunny says, "I heard I could get red velvet cake here. Am I in the right place?" Only if you like the flavor of red food coloring, which it does have a flavor, interestingly enough, Blasian Bunny. I thought that was so funny the other day when you were like, "Did y'all know red velvet is just chocolate cake with food coloring?" It's like, but food coloring, when you add that much, food coloring does have a flavor. Liz for president? No, thank you. I do not want to babysit y'all. De-escalation is the key. Even Liz isn't perfect. We all have our moments. Oh yeah. PT Grace. I try to give grace to myself and others. Listen, I try to be on my best behavior, but that can't happen all the time. It's 11:30. We're done with our notes. If you want a copy of the notes, you can purchase them in the Buy It Now. We have to spend the next 24 minutes talking about my soap. The food coloring does change the flavor. Also, the icing is different. True, Athena. Cream cheese frosting isn't often on a chocolate cake, so that's unique. But the food coloring, Red 40 does have a flavor, y'all. You can't tell me that's not true. All right. Since we're talking about chemicals, are you kidding? D, when was the last time you had a Cheeto? Chemicals are delicious. You can't tell me otherwise. I'm drinking a water that is only flavored from chemicals. All right, I'm going to start out with the Danger soap. Do not buy this soap, okay? It has a warning. Danger, Will Rogers, danger. This is probably the most artistic soap through and through that I've created. The flavor of Red 40 is crushed aspirin. Is it really, Lindsay Woo? I was thinking it was those bugs. You know the bugs that they crush for red coloring? Did you guys know that there's red food coloring that's made from crushed bugs? Now you want Cherry, no. Don't buy my danger soap. Do not buy my danger soap. This soap is very dangerous, okay? Because it is made with anise seed essential oils, which if you're pregnant or wanting to become pregnant, you should not be smelling, but it's amazing. Also, this has essential oils of clove, which is very beautiful, but can aggravate sensitive skin. So do not purchase this soap. But let me just tell you, Millicent, that is not true. I know where vanilla comes from. I'm not going to read your red chat lies. All right. So here's the artistic journey of this soap. Oh, Reworker's Passion. If you're into soap, Reworker's Passion is like one of the biggest soap sellers on Whatnot. Okay. This soap right here. It's called Phoenix Ash. Let me tell you the whole story of this soap, because it truly is a phoenix rising, except this is the ash. It is not. Like the imitation vanilla is from beaver glands, because I know real vanilla is from tree bark. I do know. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, we're gonna shift from beaver butts and talk about phoenix ash. It is, Millicent. It is. All right. Phoenix Ash. So this was originally going to be 2 different soaps. That's why I have such a large quantity of it. I'm surprised though. I didn't think this would sell as well as it has. I've sold half of them already. So the only reason I have a large quantity is because this was a double batch. It was not supposed to be Phoenix Ash. This was supposed to be 2 separate soaps. Accidentally, I combined the fragrances, and then I thought, well, I can save this. I'm just going to do this and this. And then accidentally, I put the activated chocolate in the whole batch instead of separating it first. And I was like ready to cry. I was like, this soap has caused me so many problems. I am failing repeatedly. And then all of a sudden it came to me. And I was like, oh, we're going to rise from the ashes. Now, this is scented. The essential oils in it too, because I don't name a soap until after I can smell it, after it's like done. And I was like, oh my goodness, it has cedar wood in it, which smells like burnt wet wood. Okay. Cedar wood. It has the clove, which is a very earthy, strong smell. The aniseed, which is like a sickeningly sweet smell, which death, like Phoenix, the whole story of the Phoenix, right, is that it dies, it burns, it dies by burning, and then the new Phoenix rises from the ashes. These are the ashes left behind. So it very much smells like sweet death, burnt wood, but then lingering behind it, and the earthy clove, but then lingering behind it are the scents of life, of lavender and orange. Oh my goodness, it's an amazing soap. As you're washing with it, you will get dirty before you get clean. When you rub it on you, it's going to be all charcoal all over your skin. And then you work that into a lather, and then it washes beautifully clean. The red on it is from safflower petals, which just look like flame. Don't they look like the glowing embers of ash? Oh, and then here's a wing left behind by the phoenix as it flies away. So this is not Phoenix. If I were scenting a soap in Phoenix, it would not smell like this. This is Phoenix Ash. This is the remnants, what's left over from that burning and that life. It's kind of like when you go through a divorce or a breakup, right? And you've got the memories, like you've got those good memories and they hurt so bad, but yet they've led to some really good things in your life. So it's like beautiful and horrible all at the same time. It's like sick and sweet all at the same time. It's like messy and clean all at the same time. I present to you Phoenix Ash. So there's that soap. Julie, thank you for purchasing Phoenix Ash. I hope you love it so much. All right, next up, let's talk about Kitchen Kissed. Kitchen Kissed came from wanting to make a trad wife soap. I was watching a lot of videos talking about the drama in the trad life scene on, YouTube. There's all these trad life influencers where it's women dressed in sundresses, holding babies, making sourdough bread, and then you find out that they're actually like total boss women and their husbands are rich and that it's all a facade, but you're like, but I wanted it to be real. That's Kitchen Kissed. Okay. Kitchen Kissed is scented in fresh homemade bread, crisp, yummy apples, and then like a sexy man's cologne. I've recently said I'm a trad wife without the trad. Serial obvious. I love that. So this one is scented like what you imagine a trad life kitchen to smell like. It's got to smell like baked goods and sliced fruit and a real sexy man to come in and like snuggle you while he's looking at what you're making him. Now, in real life, I'm on here selling stuff, earning money. Okay. My husband's doing laundry after his long day at work. And then I go and I make dinner and we're both making it work together. That is the real trad life. If you know anything about history, if you've ever done your genealogy, let me tell you, I come from good old fashioned American Christian stock. And the stories we have in my family history would set your hair on fire. Okay. I'm talking like one of my ancestors shot a man. The man fell behind the wood stove and started to cook. And the reason he shot the man was because he had already told that man, don't put your feet up on my kitchen table. Meaning, do not come to my house when I'm not here to flirt with my wife. And that wife in question built that kitchen with her bare hands while her husband was working the mines. Okay, so even trad wife women hustled and worked their butts off. But if you've ever wanted to have, and this is a hand molded apple tart heart on the front. And the thing with this soap is no single bar smells the same. Thank you, Nisi, because every single color is scented. So the brown is scented in bread, the red is scented in apple, and the gray is scented in men's cologne. You would think this is mostly smells like apple, but apple is a light scent, so the cologne is very strong. The bread is very strong. So you'll smell it and you're going to be like, bread. Wait. Ooh, sexy man. Oh, apple. That's how that smell is going to work for you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you love it. Thank you for purchasing. Okay, next up we have this one here. FaceTime 2. Now, hold on. Magical Disney says your soap, now my soap, just arrived. I got Mangoko and it smells incredible. Enjoying it already. It's somehow even prettier in person. That is my goal. My goal is always that you guys enjoy, like, when you'll see it in my reviews actually quite often. Oh, it's better than she said it was. Oh, it's better than it looked on camera. So Magical Daisy, thank you. Magical Disney, thank you for saying that. Okay, so let's do, well, since you said Mangoko, let's switch to Mangoko. Why not? Since we just got a review saying they loved the smell of this one. Now, this one is inspired by, I was watching everyone post their vacation photos. You know, they're all at Disneyland and they're at the beach and they're like traveling everywhere. And I'm sitting here in my basement selling stuff, trying to make ends meet. And I'm like, dang, it would be nice if I could go on vacation. So I made a vacation. This is a bar of mango coconut water scented soap with the mango bar and the slices of coconut, which I made myself out of soap. Thank you so much, Julie, for purchasing Mangoko. Oh, Shiwu, we will talk about that. We're going to talk about sensitive skin soap, which I do have. It's the natural. If you don't want to wait for me to get to it, purchase this one, but we'll talk about it in just a little bit. So Mangoko is scented like a tropical drink at the beach. So if you didn't get to go to the beach this summer and you felt cheated, you can purchase this and you can go to the beach in your shower. And you can be like, Oh, thank you, Liz. This feels like I'm halfway there while we all stay home and hustle and just enjoy the fact that we have air conditioning. Because sometimes air conditioning is the vacation. If any of you have ever been without air conditioning before, which I have, air conditioning itself is a vacation. Okay, next up, we'll do the sensitive skin one. All right, this one here is very special to me. I'm going to pin it. This is natural. This soap right here is what led me to creating high quality soap. Before this, all I cared about was pretty soap. I just wanted it to look pretty. Soap started out as an artistic expression for me. Natural came about because I had a friend who had to go through chemotherapy, right? And her type of chemotherapy made her skin very sensitive. So she couldn't use anything with scents or with colorants in them. So no glitters, no pretty micas, no yummy scents, no essential oils even, okay? So I started doing research and I did all the research I could on what, because she was like, oh, I would love to use your soap. And I made unscented soap, but it was not the best. So I started doing research on how to create the best quality soap. I did many formulations, I did so much research. And this is what I currently am at. This is currently my highest level of soap. And this is the base recipe for all my other soaps. I vary them with ingredients and stuff, but this is what I base them off of, is trying to reach this level of quality. So this one is my, what I call my luxury base recipe, which is it's aloe juice, goat milk, colloidal oatmeal, goat's milk, honey, unrefined cocoa butter, unrefined shea butter. Like, it's just jam packed with everything. Now, it is unscented, but if you smell it, it has a toasty smell to it because it has the max amount of colloidal oatmeal and honey that you can put in a bar. It is amazing. Shiwu, did you purchase this one? So anytime someone comes to me and says, my, so and so has sensitive skin or eczema, or there's a flare up, or there's a rash, or anything like that, I tell them this one. Thank you, Tober. I do try. I really do try. Um, I didn't start selling my soap outside of family members until I felt I had a product that was worth the price. Because honestly, this is expensive stuff. Okay. This is very expensive. Now, for what it is, I will say my prices are actually very low for what I am putting in these bars and how I am, the technique of making it, which is not just cold process. The technique that I use, I've had people ask me to teach them, and I'm like, sorry, I have to start you at this level. You would have to work your way up to it because it's actually very dangerous how I make my soap to get to get the bar that I create. So, that's why I don't often, like, I'll teach a lower version, but not my version, because it is, you'd have to, like, if somebody came to me and they're like, I've been making soap for 30 years, I would love to learn from you. I would teach them how to make my soap. Anyone else, I would be like, I'm just scared that you would go home and think you could do this, and then you might, like, burn yourself, right? Cherry Red Treasure says, I read about soap making with my kids and was like, oh no, no, thank you. Yeah. So I do soap making with kids, and there's two versions. We can do the melt and pour soap, which there's safety issues there too. And there's tons of artistry with melt and pour, but that's easier with kids. If I do, like, I have made with teenagers, we did the cold process soap and I had them sign waiver. The parents had to tell me, like, I had to get waivers from the parents because I'm like, we're going to be dealing with, like, some actual hard chemicals and stuff. Anyway, all good stuff. Now, let's talk about FaceTime 2. This is, besides this one, this is the one that I will recreate. Bars like this, hold on, let me find this in the Buy It Now. We'll pin it. So bars like this and bars like this, like, I'm not making these again. You have to buy them when I have them. Ugh, bougie, y'all. Y'all is very bougie. These are one and done. These are artworks. These are things that I make and then they never get made again. These are custom scents, custom colors. Then there's bars like these where they become so popular that I do recreate them. This one though is a new version of my regular FaceTime. So this one has goat's milk. My original FaceTime does not have goat's milk in it or colloidal oatmeal. I can't remember. But anyway, this is a new version. I maxed out the good ingredients on this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to recreate this one. I think I'll go back to FaceTime because this one doesn't have as good a lather, but this one has more nutrients. So if you want to try the FaceTime too, you got to buy it now because I may not recreate that one. I specifically created FaceTime to be for your face, but you can use it all over. You can use it as a hand bar. I've used it as a shampoo bar. You can use it everywhere. But this one is specifically formulated for your face. So it's an apple cider vinegar aloe juice soap. It contains the unrefined cocoa butter and shea butter. It also has true essential oils, not fragrance oils, but true essential oils of lavender 4042 and tea tree. Lavender is for soothing and calming, tea tree is for cleansing. And then it has the max amount of activated charcoal for gentle exfoliation. So that is FaceTime too. Now, I also have the Bougie Y'all. This one here. She's got everything going on with her. Now, I will tell you, for my sample bar, I'm showing you the small bar. All I have left of this one are bigger bars, so they're going to be slightly taller, okay? But they've got the cicada, they've got the gorgeous architecture designs like you see in Charleston in the South. It's got a pecan, it's got the camo coloring. It is scented in magnolia, Georgia peach, and Kentucky bourbon. This is everything about living in the South. It smells rich, it smells fabulous, and it just looks like it's doing too much. And that's how we do it in the South, y'all. We go fancy and we go redneck all in the same event. And we do not feel bad about it at all. You live in the South? No one's going to be feeling sorry for being too much. Tober 2, thank you so much for purchasing the Bougie Y'all soap. I hope you love it. I hope you love it. I went too far on this one. I really did. The amount of decor, sorry, my fingers are getting glittery. The amount of decor on this one, I just wanted to make the South proud, y'all. If I was going to make a soap to exemplify the Southern experience, this is it right here. You're going to meet the classiest people, the richest people, the realest people, the best smelling. I can't tell you, Southerners smell so good when they bathe. When they bathe, like, listen, they go hunting, they work in the fields. It's humid outside. So when I say when they bathe, I'm not saying they don't bathe. Southern people are some of the cleanest people in the world. They are some of the cleanest people in the world. But when they bathe, because you have to bathe a lot in the South, like most Southern people are bathing 2 to 3 times a day just because of the humidity. They smell so good. They really, really smell so good. So everything about the South right here. You've got class, you've got sass, you've got richness, you got a little boozy, you got the floral, you got those peaches. Oh, so, 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 so good. So, so good. But that is all my soap. Does anybody have any questions about my soap? If so, let me know. All the ingredients are listed in the listing. I also included the colorants. So if you have any issues with allergies, everything that goes in my soap is listed in the ingredients. So you'll know whether I colored something with activated charcoal or with like a tin oxide. Thank you for purchasing notes so you could rewatch the show. I appreciate it. So that is my soap for the day. Any questions? Oh, real quick. If you've purchased soap from me, I highly recommend purchasing a loofah slice. They are going to be as big or bigger than what you see in the photo there. My loofahs are not chemically treated, okay? So they're going to vary in shape, size, and coloring. None of them will be smaller than what you see in the photo. I recommend if you're gonna pay for expensive soap, you want to make it last as long as possible. So if you have a soap dish, put the loofah slice between your soap and the soap dish. The loofah slice is the best way possible to keep your soap dry in between uses. And if your loofah slice gets soap in it, don't rinse it out under water. Use the loofah slice to wash your hands. Use the soap from that to make your bar last longer. I want you guys to get every penny's worth out of your super expensive soap, okay? I I'm 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 a thrifty girl, okay? I don't like to spend money. So, if I'm going to ask you to spend money on my expensive soap, I'm going to try to make sure you get every last drop. Now, when you get your soaps, they're going to come in a beautiful organza bag. That bag is going to breathe. So you can stick that bag in your sock drawer until you're ready to use the soap and it will scent your drawer. You can hang it up somewhere, but don't throw that bag away. When your soap gets down to that teeny tiny sliver where you're like, oh, it's hard to hold on to, put that sliver back in that organza bag and take that bag to the shower. Wet it underwater and just use the bag. It's going to give you the best suds ever. Like it's going to lather so, so good. So even my packaging is meant to help you get your last little drop out of your bougie soap. Wait, why don't you want me to tell your husband that, Millicent? What's he going to do with that? Now I need to know. But yes, I try to formulate also, just so you know, I have formulated my soap to lather for me. Thank you, Vintage, for buying a loofah. I have hard water. So if any of you have tried homemade soap in the past and you're like, I can't, I have hard water. When I married him, he was older. He had an entire drawer just of the slivers. Use the organza bags, though. You can't use the slivers unless you have a bag for them. Just zest, nothing fancy. Thank you for purchasing. What was I going to say? Oh, so I have formulated my soap to lather for me. I have well water and I have some of the hardest well water known to man. Okay. So I know what it's like when you have hard water. So not only do I formulate my soaps to lather in hard water as much as possible, I also include citric acid. It's a natural chelator. So the citric acid I use in my soap is to prevent soap scum. You might still get some soap scum, but it prevents it because the it's a chelator, so it grabs onto the metals in the hard water that interact with the soap and it pulls them down into the water so that it doesn't coat your bathtub like it normally does. Thank you, Julie B. Thank you for your purchases too. I so appreciate it. All right, you guys, it is 12 o'clock. Oh, you know what? We actually ended earlier than I thought we would. Yay! We got through all our notes and we sold our soap, so we did good today, y'all. All right. I am going to be live again at 2 p.m. today. I have to sell 2 items for the Shop Happy Challenge. So the Clock It 2 at 2. Come check that out. Bookmark that show. Everybody share your shows while I say goodbye. Tell me what you sell. Tell me when you sell it. Tell me if you have any goals you're trying to hit. Are you trying to get 1,000 followers, 1,000 sales? Are you just trying to get up the nerve to have your first show? Tell me in the chat while I tell you guys I'm going to be on at 2 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time. Yep. Clock it, 2 o'clock. Is it clock it with 1 finger or 2 fingers? I always forget. Anyway, clock it. We're going to clock it at 2 o'clock. And then tomorrow I'm doing one and done. And I'm doing 3 at 3. So I'm going to technically sell 4 items tomorrow, even though I normally sell only 1. So make sure that you come back on time tomorrow at 9 a.m. because I only do a 5-minute show at 9 a.m. I get 1 item that I think is a banger item and we sell it for $1. It might be an antique coffee grinder. It might be a Russian lacquer box. It might be, we did a basket of soap on my anniversary, a whole basket of soap for $1. So make sure you come on time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you want to see the one and done. And then at 3 o'clock, I'll be selling until I sell 3 things. This is tomorrow. So we will see you guys around. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. A Reworker's Passion, are you still here or did you go live? I wanted to raid into a Reworker's Passion if she's live. Let me see. I think she starts at 12:30, but we'll check. We will check. No, underscore. She's not live yet. Okay, well, we're going to go see A Bit Dusty then. What are they doing? Let's see. A Bit Dusty is doing fall, y'all. They've got 8 people in their room. Let's go be nice. Let's go, look at their store, look at their shows, bookmark them if you want to, make requests if you see anything you like, say something nice about something that they're selling. That's what I like to do when we raid into a room. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for purchasing soap. Thank you for purchasing notes. Y'all are the best, and we will see you around on the Whatnots. Bye, everyone.